Welcome to Santa Ana Bowl here for the Key to the County game. That's right. It used to be called the Turkey Bowl, used to be played in November in front of 30,000 fans, and that changed. The oldest community college rivalry, Santa Ana against Fullerton, 1962. Both these teams were undefeated. Corey Neyland, Santa Ana wins and wins the national championship. You, Ryan Osborn, and I have seen topsy-turvy all these years, and now we come in tonight's game. Should be an interesting start to a football season. Kristen Stewart will be back with the Hornets along with Michael Love. They will be receiving. So Stewart and Love, Corey, you look at this game, should be a good one.
And it really should. Two teams that Santa Ana's on the uprise. Fullerton a down season last year at 6-5. Even though that's a winning record, they lost their last 3 games of the season, including the Patriotic Bowl to Mount Sac. So Fullerton, basically a whole new roster, looks to right the ship and get on to another 1-0 start of the season in the 99th Key to the County.
And Ryan Osborn, when you think about it, down year for Fullerton, up year for Santa Ana, that could make this game even more interesting.
Yeah, and when you talk to the coaches, or at least when I did through the coaches show this week, the biggest thing that they mentioned is that it's really tricky to teach these guys not only the history of this rivalry, convey the importance, but also prepare them for game one. You got a lot of freshmen who are just up at the community college level for the first time getting game action, teaching them a rivalry and getting them set for game one. It's really, really tricky.
Anthony Gomez will be kicking off for the Dons. Back deep, Michael Love standing next to him is going to be Christian Stewart. Stewart to the near side of the field, Love to the far side of the field. Squib kick down the middle. Love is going to pick it up, goes out to the right, crosses the 30, has a train in front of him, refuses to go down, stumbles his way all the way to the 46-yard line.
So the freshman up from Savannah puts Fullerton, the sophomore from Savannah, Georgia, puts Fullerton in good field position to start off the 2022 season.
We're going to see a lot of new faces for this Fullerton team as we start off this season with you. New faces coming out to the near side of the field is going to be C.J. Broy. Next to him in the slot, Jordan Smith. So we'll see what Fullerton does on their first set right at the 45-yard line. Get a little motion. Going to be a flag on that. Josh Calvin is in at quarterback. Garnett Davis at running back. So Davis at running back. Fullerton gets a motion penalty to start things off. Will Gipson at the far side of the field. Can't even get that out. Calvin hands it up, straight up the middle. Nice little dive play there by Garnett Davis III.
We're going to get a flag on the far side of the field. Santa Ana and Fullerton College player just kind of tied up at the 40-yard line, got into some contact.
It's going to be against Santa Ana. So that's called on Elijah Dunbar out of Rialto. So that's going to move the sticks as the Hornets looked like they were in trouble. Josh Calvin looks over. Garnett still in at running back. C.J. Broy to the near side of the field. Once again, far side of the field is going to be Gipson. Garnett goes in motion. Look, time, deep down corner. Looking for Jordan Smith, and Jordan Smith takes it out of the air right at the 5. Nice play, beautiful pass, Corey Neyland.
37 yards on the pitch and catch. A little bit wobbly, but a good throw, on target throw. And a nice job of changing direction by Jordan Smith on that pass from Josh Calvin.
Calvin back there again. Looks over. We're going to get a flag, illegal procedure, as they were going to run a screen to C.J. Broy, and it was basically going to be a receiver screen to the left side, near side of our field. So that's going to move him back 5 yards. We just started the game, 14-12 here at the Santa Ana Bowl. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn. They're going to flip-flop the field. So Jordan Smith goes to the far side of the field. Outside of him is going to be C.J. Bro. Come down to the near side of the field. It's going to be Will Gipson. Josh Calvin still at quarterback. Garnett. They go. Flag on the play. Incomplete pass. And let's see what the flag is. Boy, guys, Ryan Osborn. Lots of flags to start this game.
Certainly a, we'll say, methodical pace to start, because usually we're used to Santa Ana and Fullerton getting off to these quick 10, 15 uninterrupted first quarter minutes, but usually is not the case here.
So Gipson will stay to the near side of the field. Far side of the field is going to be C.J. Broy. Inside the slot is going to be Jordan Smith, who had a great play. Quarterback keeper up the middle and stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Great work by the safety who fills the hole. It looks like, yeah, it was the safety coming up and filling. That's Jaden Genova, actually linebacker, 6 feet out of J. Sarah High School. Josh Calvin was red and stood up right at the line of scrimmage. His center today is going to be the only starter from last season is Will Peroni, also joined by George Silva, George Dua, Gerard Green, and Daniel Modelis, who had a lot of playing time last season. As again, Ryan said, the offensive line is going to be the key for Fullerton College.
And when you look at Calvin, not a small player. Calvin goes back, has time, looks across the middle, right on the dime, Corey, touchdown, Will Gipson.
So when you got a big guy like Gipson, 6'3", 205, he gets the slat, gets the inside move on the cornerback, and that move was against Jabez Gorham. Nothing you can do against a 6'3" frame who shielded him, and a perfect throw from Calvin.
Ryan, they talked to you about Josh Calvin. I guess the advertisement was just as good as we saw?
So far in that first series, that's exactly what we were told by the coaches. They said that he makes really good reads, and when he delivers a ball, he delivers it in stride. Each of those last 2 throws that got them the big gain and the touchdown are exactly what you want to see from a starting quarterback.
The ball is spotted, the kick is up, and the kick is good by Jonathan Faubert. So Faubert knocks it through, and the Hornets, with 12:58 here in the first quarter, are up 7-0. Now the Dons, who have one of the top players in California at quarterback and a speedy little receiver, we'll see if they can answer.
Yeah, you look for Cesar Ayala, the quarterback you mentioned. Last year, he was a Region 4 All-California first-team player for the Dons, who lost in the Southern California Bowl to Pasadena, 28-21. And Arthur Shaw, the speedster out of Fullerton Union High School, will look to put some pressure on the Hornet defense.
So I think Michael James and Jabaz Gorman is back deep. We'll see if I got that right, Corey Neyland. Correct me if I'm wrong. For Santa Ana.
It's either Lindell Thurston or Ethan Poche. Oh, no, you're right. It is Jabaz Gorman on the near side.
All right. Jonathan Faubert to kick off for the Hornets. They're up by 7 with 12:58 to go. Deep kick taken by Gorman. Gorman takes it at the 5, looks for the outside, gets to the 20, and is smothered like gravy on top of eggs at the 20.
Salem Streeter does the smothering. Wearing number 4 in white.
So we'll see what Santa Ana comes out with quickly. Frengel and Constantine go to the far side of the field. First down and 10, right at the 20 for Santa Ana. Quick flip right over in the corner. Incomplete pass.
That was intended for Joshua Wells. Couldn't make the catch at his knees. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. We'll set that Fullerton defense in just a moment.
So Cesar Ayala out of Eisenhower is quarterback. Had a great season last year for the Dons. Ayala in a lone set by himself. Fullerton, looks like they're bringing no heat. In motion is Henning. Henning now in the backfield. Fake it to Henning. Go across the middle. Drop it there at the 30. Nice little play. Cesar Ayala drops it right in the hands of friend Gail Corey, who all he did was find the soft spot.
Yeah, and what they did, they ran Kobe Kosak across the field to move the linebacker out. Linebacker moves with him and drop him in that soft spot in the zone, picks up a first down. Nice controlled play by the Dons.
Kyron Hayes now in the slot on the near side of the field. Ayala this time hands it off, trying to go off a left tackle. No place for Henning to go. And Jamel Henning just gets bottled up.
And met by one of the front four. Bryce Dunnick up front. Ant Harris and Eric Heel are the three, joined by Amari Williams on the outside, on the near side, wearing 44. And the linebackers, Marcellus Gaines, limited time last year, looks to be a key component this year for the Hornets. Also, Jeremiah McNeely and Chris Harm are the linebackers.
Frengel and Wells stacked on top. Now split, they go to the outside. Caesar looking, runs, takes off, throws it quickly out in the flat, taken there by Jamel Henning, but Corey, he picks up very little or nothing on the play.
And Ryan, you saw man-to-man coverage by the Hornets that time. Looked like a basketball play, looking like they're watching Perry Webster switch on the screen, and both players up front catch those guys in the flat, and the deep play with that rush, there was no opportunity to throw that ball.
3rd down and 11.
So Chandler Brown is the key on defense. I think he has a chance to be an All-American this year at the safety position on the number 3 in white for the Hornets, along with Kadari Kearns.
Start in motion. Kozak. Flag on the play. Come back to the opposite direction. Get a block. Turn the corner. Once again, Jamel Henning picks it up, but we'll see what the flag is right at the 35.
Might get an offside by the Hornets.
And if they do, they'll move the sticks.
So Kadari Kearns is the safety with Chandler Brown. The other cornerback on the far side is Cassius Kearns, both out of Flossmoor, Illinois, Homewood High School. The near side is going to be Christian Cross and Maximus Ahoya in the nickel package.
Says Ayala again. He gets them to jump. He's going to get a flag on that. This is a free play. He had it in the middle, and Corey, he had Nicholas Frengel all by himself. Receiver's got nice height. He's a 5'11 receiver. Great hands. We've already seen it in this game out of Edison High School down in Huntington Beach.
And that's Bryce Dunnick, who jumped offside, big number 95 for the Hornets, as you see there in those white unis with the blue numbers.
Gain of 5 on the penalty. It'll be 1st down and 5. Right at the 46 for the Dons. So they're on the move with 10:33 to go. The Hornets went down the field. Dons are trying to answer on this drive. Abdullah goes back, has good protection. Here comes a stunt. Corey Neyland, a stunt that created a hole that you and I could run through.
And Amari Williams, look for him to have a huge year. This is a gentleman who can easily reach double-digit sacks this year with that speed on the outside. He ran that stunt, and he just came across Bryce Dunnick on the outside. Williams converts to the inside. Ayala had nowhere to go.
So it's going to be a loss on the play. It's going to make it a 2nd down and 12. Wells to the near side. Kobe Kosick to the far side. Henning still in the backfield. Ayala at quarterback. 2nd down and 12. Motion now on the play. Here comes the pressure. Ayala's going to take it down himself. Decides to stop. Gets maybe a half a yard before he's eaten up by a swarm of Hornets. So it's a gain of maybe a half a yard on the play. It's going to bring a 3rd down and 11 right at the 47-yard line. So a little give, a little take by the defense for the Hornets.
And Ryan, you got a chance after this play. You're out there every single week. What's the feel out there for the Hornets?
Big third down at 11 yards. Henny starts in motion. Throwing it down the middle of the field. No break, confusion on the field. And it was nobody knowing where Constantine, I think Corey thought it was a stop and come back route. The quarterback said, no, just keep running, and that brings up a 4th down. Ryan, Corey asked that big question. What is the feeling for the Hornets?
I think the word that would come to mind that we heard a lot is excitement. There's a lot of excitement having the opportunity to go through a full year once again without having to deal with COVID, without having to have restrictions. It's a full year of camp, practice, and then game time.
Looks like Gipson back off the side of the foot. It's going to hit and go out of bounds at the 30. And, boy, I tell you what, Corey, it is a Santa Ana Hornet game. Guys, I want to tell you one thing. Maybe a few guys know what the rivalry is because there's a little biting and kicking, Ryan Osborn, going on down in that field.
We've already had one flag for extracurricular activities. That was on the very first series, very first play of the game. Technically the first play because we had a flag right before that. But already had that flag for a personal foul. Both of these two sides, we heard it before this game, how much both of these two don't like each other because it's that historic rivalry. They were able to convey that history really well in practice.
And we want to discuss that during halftime.
Yes, we do.
To see if that rivalry really still exists. I'm going to play devil's advocate against you guys.
Tyrell Green now as running back for the Hornets. So Green's now in the game. First down and 10. Green gets it, tries to go off tackle, and Corey, the offensive line that gets talked about, couldn't open up a hole.
Met promptly by Lamar Gray, 6 feet 220 out of Citrus Valley High School in Redlands. He's one of the starting linebackers in the secondary. Aiden Eckenweiler, Matt Wan at one linebacker. Elijah Sandler is a DB. Gabriel Hill, Siasoe Nui Matolu is also in there up front.
Jordan Smith, the receiver that started things off. We'll see if they go towards him. Look in his direction. There's nothing there. Down the middle of the field. There's Jordan Smith at the sticks. Corey, he goes enough for a first down. So far, he's been impressive as wide receiver.
Yes, he is. And Josh Calvin, a little bit of Darius Banks to him for Fullerton College. Big arm and mobile.
They mark it right at the 42. They go quickly. They throw it out in the flat. Tried to get it to C.J. Broy. And C.J. gets taken down. And he comes up looking a little gimpy.
So he ended up losing his helmet on the play. So he has to exit for at least one down.
And when you look at Josh Calvin, a little bit of Darius Banks, a little bit of Trey Tinsley with movement and arm strength.
Gipson to the far side of the field with Stewart. Jordan Smith to the near side of the field with Michael Love. Josh Calvin hands it off in the middle. Straight dive play across the 50. Brute strength across the 50.
Speaking of brute strength.
Nice run there by Green, Tyler Green Jr.
And a good guy with the strength of character. Brian Norman always listening over there in Monrovia. Always listening to the Hornets. Thank you, Brian.
Josh Calvin brings him out quickly. 3rd down and 3. Tyler Green gets it again. Spins off a tackle. Nice spin move, Ryan Osborn. If he doesn't make spin move, it's not a first down. And they're saying his knee was down?
He was down by contact before the ball came out.
Okay. First down, they move the sticks. So a nice pace. Josh Calvin's got him going at a nice pace as they're trying to get everybody off the field defensively. Tyler Green Jr. stays in at running back. Jordan Smith in the slot to the near side of the field. Outside him is Michael Love at wide receiver. Far side of the field is Will Gipson. It's looked good so far. And in the gap next to him is Kristen Stewart. 6:34 to go. We're going to get timeout on the field. Timeout Fullerton with 6:33 to go. It's the Hornets 7, Santa Ana 0. Here at the Key to the County game on Sportsnet, USA.net.
And I wanted to finish out the rest of that Don defense. Jabez Gorman, out of East Forsyth, High Point, North Carolina. We already saw Lamar Gray with that tackle for loss on that first play of this series. Blaze Iglesias, a defensive lineman, 6'3", 275 out of Orange.
Did you say Blaze?
Blaze.
That's a good name for a defensive line.
Jacob Crespin, 6'2", D-line out of Arroyo High School in El Monte. Anthony Gomez rounds out the starting unit, 6 feet, 275 from Buena Park. So those are your Dons against the Hornets. And you know what? I don't know if it's cooled off any, but the heat has dissipated a little bit since the game started. I think that's the excitement of college football being back. Okay, so maybe.
I just thought it was the hot air finally getting out of all three of our systems. We talked enough, right? Just think at halftime, we're going to all put a coat on. We're going to be so cold. Ryan Osborn, and next time they go on defense, I've got to ask you because we talked about these things. I'm going to have a conversation with you about what Brian Crooks told us about this defense. Josh Calvin, under center. Something you don't see anymore at college football. Calvin goes back, fakes it. Here comes the pressure. Corey throws it underhand and caught. What a catch. Boy, I tell you what, Cameron Woods turned around and said, whoops, is that bread for me? And it looked like a giveaway at a supermarket, and he caught the ball.
Shadow Ridge's finest, Cameron Woods, makes that catch on a, well,
acrobatic.
Scoop shot.
Could be.
Underhanded pass.
A completion on the record. Calvin goes back underneath center. Hands it off. Right off the corner, Malik Winston gets a gain of, I'm going to say 5 on the play, all the way down to 25. So shuffling in backs.
If anything, Corey, that had reminiscence of Perry Webster's finest with a finger roll right at the end.
Well, out of Mayfair High School as a quarterback, you know something a little bit about basketball. So, yeah, that Mayfair, he did play basketball in high school, so that's nice.
Gipson comes in near side of the field. With him is going to be Stewart. This time, Calvin goes back in a shotgun formation, goes back, has time, throws it over the flat. Right to the man who's got the best hands on the field so far, Jordan Smith. I don't think he's dropped anything thrown in his direction.
And that's 6'1", 188 out of, and don't know if it's Slidell or Slidell, Louisiana. Impressive looking out there.
So they're just going to be short of a first down. Third down and about 2. We're down to 5:10 here in the first quarter. The Hornets. So we're going to get illegal procedure. That's going to move them back. So less flags, a little rhythm started to this game. So in at running back for the Hornets is going to be Malik Winston, quarterback, Josh Calvin. Jordan Smith in the slot on the left side. Outside of him on the left-hand side is going to be Michael Love, who's had a good game so far. Calvin looks over. Gipson to the far side. Gipson steps back. Calvin takes it himself. Nobody's there. Calvin, touchdown, Fullerton College. Quarterback keeper Corey Neyland. He takes 2 steps back, and the Red Sea parted open.
And I'm not sure that was a designed run, but again, a quick read by Josh Calvin and realize everybody's flowing to the right because that's where he turned. He sees a wide open lane that I could have gotten 5 yards out of that. But he gets 25 and scores a touch.
Yeah, and Ryan, I got to ask you, was it the offensive line or was it just the defense just sort of said, let's cover?
I think it was the offensive line. They did a really good job of forcing those edge rushers to the side. And as soon as Calvin saw that middle was wide open, this is what the coaching staff told us before the game and also throughout practice over the last 2 weeks. He reads plays well, and he takes the opportunities to run only when it's there.
Yeah, because that was the thing. It didn't look like a design run, but it looked like a run would have presented itself if he had it. And that was one of the things you mentioned. He read it well and scored that touchdown. This is the crispest Fullerton College has looked on the offensive side of the ball. well, especially in the last 3 games of last season, but I'd say the last 5 or 6 games of last season.
Jonathan Faubert made the point after. So it's 14-0 with 4:32 to go. Not a lot of conversation this year about Santa Ana. Heard a lot of conversation last year by Santa Ana. I think it's going to be interesting to watch this game and see who plays during the whole game. Back deep for Santa Ana is going to be Arthur Shaw, which we haven't talked about him, and Jamel Henning. So Arthur Shaw, Corey Neyland, you know Arthur Shaw, so does Ryan Osborn. You called a lot for that young man when he went to Fullerton High School.
Yeah, very quick, very dynamic when the ball is in his hands.
So Shaw to the near side of the field, or our side of the field, and Henning to the far side of the field. They're both at the 10-yard line for the Dons here at the Santa Ana Bowl. Key to the county on Sportsnet, USA.net. Arthur Shaw from Fullerton High School takes it at the 4. Shaw looking up the middle, tries to get a block, can't, goes the outside. Gets up to the 25, and it'll be first down and 10 for Santa Ana at the 25.
Good coverage. Hanging on there is Tedrick Ross, who makes the special teams tackle.
So, guys, I really didn't see much of Arthur Shaw in that first offensive sets. Now Arthur Shaw goes to the far side of the field with Cannon King. Shaw's going to be in the slot. King's going to be next to him. Cesar Ayala at quarterback. First down and 10 at the 25. There goes Shaw in motion from left to right. Ayala goes back to Shaw, and Shaw had the door shut on him quickly. Flag on the play. I think you're going to get roughing the passer.
You might, because of the way. And that's on Bryce Dunnick. Threw him recklessly, violently to the ground, and that's going to be a 15-yard penalty every single time. And it was a nice play on the by the corner, Maximus Ohoya. Max, good job of wrapping up. A Matador from La Mirada is your corner.
That takes it out to the 40. First down and 10 for the Dons. They moved well their last opportunity, and then the Hornets came up big to stop. Here comes the blitz, all out blitz, up the middle, picked at the 40. Nice little pick there by Celine Streeter, and Streeter is in. Ryan Osborn, he jumped that faster than most people can jump a Twinkie.
Mark, I mean, when you take a look at that read, the route was right in front of him. He was reading the eyes of the quarterback the entire time. And here's what you like, the positioning of his hips. They're open to both the receiver and the quarterback. So if he sees that the quarterback doesn't go at that read, he stays with the receiver. Instead, on this play, he ends up reading it well, jumps the route, and is into the end zone for a touchdown.
And I was just getting ready to ask you, because we had a conversation with Brian Crooks, which is the weakest part of the defense? Hornets going for 2 on this. Run a reverse. Nobody's there. In for 2 points. Quickly taken there by Michael Love. And Corey, misdirection, chicanery, and the Hornets are now up 22-0 with 3:51 in the first quarter.
Yeah, and that was a nice job. Celine Streeter did a nice job of reading. And again, the rush up front by the Hornets made Ayala throw off of his back foot, lofting the ball up in the air. Streeter was there to make a pretty catch. And you called it right, Mark. He read the eyes. Ryan, you said he had his hips. And you guys said this weak spot is going to be the secondary. Let me kiss up right now. I think the secondary is going to be fantastic this year.
Thank you, Corey Neyland. Remember, Corey Neyland loves the secondary of Phil Austin.
I don't think they're going to have any problems this
on
year.
SportsNetUSA.net. That's Corey with a C, not a K.
Officials for tonight's ball game: referee Shane Smith, umpire is Charlie Chastain, head linesman is Nicholas Frescas, line judge Kent Bucharau, field judge is Daryl Brooks, side judge Gil Rodriguez, and the back judge, Dwayne Bergman. We've seen those gentlemen
before
for many years.
So Henning is back deep again on the left-hand side. Arthur Shaw is not out there this time. Jabaz Gorman is out. So Gorman to the near side. The Hornets have done what they hoped they would do to start this game. Faubert puts big foot into it. Gorman pedals back to the 3, drops the ball, stumbles, picks it up, looks for an opening, spins, gets clocked at the 19, and you're going to get, well, I'm going to say piling on. What are you going to call?
I think that's going to be a taunting penalty because one of the special teams players there for Fullerton ended up going right over top of the guy who got tackled and started yelling right in front of him. Personally, I think it's taunting.
Be better than targeting. I thought it was a late hit myself. I thought he was already wrapped up. He was going down to the ground, and I
thought he was on the ground.
Yeah, okay. So I thought it was, either way, it was a late hit and an unnecessary hit by Brandon's son for Fullerton. So I thought it was a good call.
Yeah, excellent call by the officials. Santa Ana needs to find some offense right about now, guys. 3:44, 22-0. You got to find something. Arthur Shaw here on the left side with King right next to him. Ayala's got to find someone open. First down and 10 at the 35. They run it to the outside. Nice little break there. Good run play, Corey Neyland, and a great outside block. Are we going to get holding by the receiver out at the stick? That's the only thing I think the call could be. If it is that call, and will negate. You're going to call holding, Ryan Osborn?
Yeah, it is a hold on the far side. The far side official went up to the referee and let him know.
And speaking of that offensive line,
so Brandon Taylor gets called that on the far side of the field. So that's going to move it back. They get a first down.
and Mark, that offensive line is going to read Michael Small, Levi Banuelos, Wyatt Turlack, Iskander Albitar, and Victor Corrales, the 5 up front for the Santa Ana Dons.
So it's first down and 10, right at the 35-yard line for Santa Ana. They go to out here to the flat, get it to Arthur Shaw. Arthur Shaw stays on his feet, finally gets driven out of bounds at, I'm going to say, the 45. Are they going to make it just a little short and put him at the 46? Let's see where they mark it.
Mark, either way, it's a first down. You can see why Arthur Shaw needs the ball for the Dons, and brought down on that play by Joshua Little out of Kenwood Academy in Illinois.
So Shaw's going to stay out here in the near side of the field. We're going to get motion in the backfield. They're not going to call it. They let the back reset. Interesting by the back judge. Doesn't call anything. Ayala steps back up there. First down and 10 at the 46 for the Dons. Ayala looks over there. Will try and find. Tries to go to, I wasn't sure if he was going to Shaw or to Cannon King.
I think he was going to Cannon King. He tried to get a little fade route. Try to pump it on the up and go a little fade to the 35-yard line. But again, if you float things up there, Salem Streeter looks like he's going to be one of those guys who's a straight-up ball hawk for the Hornets, and they've had plenty throughout their career that we've seen. I mean, one of the secondary coaches is Conrad White, who's had a good career here at Fullerton.
Shaw and King go to the far side of the field. Hayes comes to the near side of the field. First down and 10. Ayala goes back, throws it over there, should have been picked, sniffed out. Corey Neyland, ball hawks.
And Garrett Campbell wanted to throw behind the line of scrimmage, but yeah, ball hawks there. That's Christian Cross out of Florissant, Missouri Central Hazelwood High School. Again, he read that play before the snap. There were two players out there with Arthur Shaw being one and another receiver. And he sniffed out that screen, got in between the players, those blockers, almost had an interception.
Now, I thought the Whitecap called third down. They've got second down marked. We'll see what happens.
And there's Bryce Dunnick in the backfield, his first tackle for loss. He had 2 last year, 10 tackles total.
And it is fourth down now, so the down marker was wrong. It's fourth down for Santa Ana, right across the 50 with 2:18 to go here in the first quarter.
Which is the correct call because it was incompletion on down number 1, followed by the incompletion a moment ago. The run just now for third down. This should be fourth.
And so Santa Ana is coming over to the white hat. I know where they're confused, Corey, because, see, Ryan, I saw the white hat put up 3 fingers, and they never changed the down marker.
And, something like that, you're going to change the play.
Yes.
Third down and 12 is different than a second and 12.
Yeah.
Second and 12, you run a play to the outside, it gets this stuff. You run a pass play on third down. Third down and 12, you're going to run that pass play, and he didn't know that.
So, Corey Neyland with 2:06 to go in the first quarter. It's 22-0. Did you expect the team to look this sharp?
No.
Ryan Osborn, you've been out there with the coaches show week after week after week. You have somebody that works with the team. And we heard a lot of conversation. Did you expect what you're seeing now?
No, because what we heard from the coaches is they expected growing pains at the start of the game. Because, again, brand new guys on offense and defense. They were going to have to replace a lot of those starters who were all conference and all Americans. To see how well they've played in this first quarter, it does give that element of surprise.
So Santa Ana comes out. Corey Neyland, I think they're going to go for it. Arthur Shaw to the far side of the field. Cannon King outside of him on that side. Corey Neyland says this is going to be a quick kick. Ayala at quarterback. 4th and 13 at the 49. 2 minutes to go. 14 seconds on the clock. Corey Neyland, they go for it. Arthur Shaw can't get away. They went to Arthur Shaw and was hoping if he could slip one, they had a first down.
Kadari Kearns, again, excellent tackle from the freshman out of Homewood High School. I thought it was going to be a quick kick. But if you're Santa Ana, you're already down 22 points. What do you have to lose? And they almost picked up that first down.
1:59 to go, 22-0 here in the first quarter at the Santa Ana Bowl, key to the county. We played as many games as I am old.
It's interesting, too, on that last play. Good wrap up there by Fullerton College because we've seen in the last couple of years they'd had a little bit of issues trying to get out of that fourth down play.
So Brandon Nunez now in at quarterback for the Hornets. 6'5", 225 pounds at quarterback. Straight dive up the middle.
He's out of Mesa, Mountain View High School. Decent softball team.
Garnett Davis III is in at running back.
And this is the quarterback, from what I hear, Ryan, what you've told us, he has an excellent grasp of the offense.
That's exactly what we were told, is that not only does he have an excellent grasp of the offense, but he has the ability to adjust based on what he sees on the field.
Koenig and Franklin to the near side of the field. Nunez goes back, looks down, should get a flag, and there's flags all over. People are going to disagree, but Michael Love had people,
pick
interfering.
up the flag. Pick up the flag.
You
pick up the flag.
You wouldn't
It was
throw the
a
flag?
miscommunication on the quarterback and the receiver.
It
Quarterback
was
throwing deep. He was coming inside. You pick up the flag because that's an errant throw, but they won't.
You would have, though.
Yeah, I would have picked that up. They're going to say pass interference, and that has a difference. Pass interference, you pick that up, ball wasn't catchable.
And I agree with Corey as well, because the receiver was cutting towards the inside near the hash mark, but the throw was a fade towards the outside right at the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
Love still over there. C.J. Broy now in the game at this side. Nunez goes back, goes down the middle of the field, throws it to Gipson. Corey, there's another young man that show us that he has a pair of hands, especially going across the middle.
Big physical receiver, DeAndre McNeil, like up there with about 6'3". I mean, you go back, Levon Downs was another big guy. I'll even go further back. Since we've been here, Marquise Avery was a big receiver for the Hornets who used to do that.
Davis back in at running back. They hand it off to him straight up the middle. So Garnett Davis III picks up a couple on that. So the near side of the field will be C.J. Broy. In the slot, Jordan Smith, who's just been spectacular so far in this game, and Stewart. Nunez goes back, looks up far side of the field, tries to go to the man, and there's the flag. Corey, I couldn't see the hold on the arm. Could you?
No.
Did you, Ryan?
Neither could I. There was a lot of contact. Both guys were fighting for position with their off hands. Neither was a grab, or there was no grab, nor was there a hold. I didn't at least see one.
And I think they're going to pick it up. There you go. So they picked it up, which the gentleman on the right and the left of me say, hey, that's appropriate with 29 seconds here in the first quarter and a 22-point lead. Lead's got nothing to do with it. Stewart in the slot. Jordan Smith next to him. You go to the outside there is C.J. Broy. Little offsides on that one. Nunez says, excuse me if you're introducing yourself to me.
Aiden Eckenweiler, Servite High School.
Tyrell Green Jr. now in at running back for the Hornets. So Nunez at quarterback. 3rd down and 5. Right at the 22. Nunez goes back. Has time. Looks over. There's a little bumping. Again, there's a flag to come out. Now that flag I can't call. Corey, I'm running the route. The defender, and they're going to say that I'm stopping you from running the route is why they're going to call the flag.
I can't call it because you know I like the physical play on the outside. Don't run your route wishing for a flag.
And he's done that twice.
Yes, run your route to go get the ball. I don't throw a flag on that.
Ryan, I'm going to go to you.
No, I agree with Corey because it'd be different if he was forcing him out of bounds and wasn't allowing him to complete his run. But instead, they're just fighting along the hash mark. In fact, towards the inside of where the number marker is. So I personally would also not throw a flag there.
1st down and goal. Or it might be a little short of the goal line. Nunez looks over. No one's there. And he misread, Corey. That's the second time. This time it was Christian Stewart that ran the wrong route. And if a Santa Ana defender's looking ball, there were 3 of them right where the ball was thrown.
Yeah, both Jordan Smith and Nunez were talking, okay, you got to do this, look up. It's your play on that slant. And he was wide open if he looks up and scores.
Broy, Jordan Smith out here to the left. Stewart, who just missed that one. Nunez keeps it himself. Big man gets down. They're going to mark him at the 7. Maybe gain of 3 on the play. They have a possibility for a 1st down. They'll bring up 3rd down and a good 6. As that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. As we come to the end of the first quarter, it's your Hornets 22, the Dons 0, here on the Key to the County game on SportsNetUSA.net.
And I think you got 2 plays here. 3rd down and 4th down to get into the end zone. You don't want to settle for that field goal, especially in a Key to the County game. Fullerton 51 wins. Santa Ana 43 wins. 4 ties overall. Bad blood between the 2 programs. If you're the Hornets, yeah, you want to score. And in a rivalry game, do you call it rubbing it in, or do you call it this is a rivalry game, you would do the same to us?
I'll spank you as bad as I can. And if you don't like it, well, go ahead and cry all you want, Ryan Osborn, because I just beat your brains in, and that's too bad. It's the Key to the County game. And if you don't like it, hey, build a better team.
You know what? I happen to agree with that because you take a look at 2 rivals, right? You got Key to the County. This goes back years, over 100. 1916, the first time that this was played against one another. When you look at it, if you're Fullerton, you go out and you score as many points as you possibly can going into halftime. After halftime, you can worry about what's rubbing it in, what's running up the score. Before halftime, you are trying to get yourself in the best possible position to win.
And you know what the beauty of this is? Be doing the same thing if you're Santa Ana. If they're
exactly.
in this position,
Absolutely.
you say Santa Ana, do the same thing. Get in your best possible position to win the
Exactly.
ballgame.
I mean, if I was Santa Ana, I'd spank the crud out of Fullerton. I'd say, what? Once a Hornet is a squished Hornet. Corey Neyland says 2 options. So we'll see what they do on these 2 options. Jordan Smith nearest on the right side of the field. Stewart next to him. Nunez at quarterback. Nunez goes back. Throwing for Gipson. Gipson turns. Good defense by Santa Ana, Corey. Gipson turns the defenders right there.
Yeah, tried to get that back shoulder, but Tim Williams was there. Oh, no. Did they call a flag? They didn't throw a flag.
But it's not on that play.
They did throw a flag after the play was over from the back judge.
Taunt. Daniel Medelis takes him out of takes him out of that going for it on 4th down opportunity.
Which they were not, Corey Neyland, because Fulbear was in as soon as that pass was missed. And once I found out it was a penalty, I had to let you know because I know you'd have gone for it.
Oh, yeah.
So the ball will be spotted at the 29. You add on 10. It's a 39-yard attempt for the young man out of Santa Ana Foothill High School. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So 39 yards with 14:50 to go. It's now the Hornets. Ryan Osborn's age, 25. Santa Ana Don 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
That was a confident kick.
That was a Sammy Pelescu kick, the greatest field goal kicker in Hornet history. Sammy, come on. You can come on the air with me anytime.
And you know some people are going to argue the
Corey
fact,
just
Mark.
got chills when I said Sammy Pelescu.
If some people are going to argue with you on that one.
I'm sure there's a lot of people.
Everybody watching right now, listening right now, go ahead. If you agree with that, go ahead and hit up Mark and say, I agree or disagree. Whether you can find Mark on where? Facebook. You can find him on other social media platforms. You can hit me up on Instagram or Twitter.
Find Mark or also comments as well as this gets streamed live on sportsnetusa.net.
That's what I love, partners. Partners. Corey, I'm kissing all the defensive backs at the end of the game like little babies. Back deep is Arthur Shaw. See if Arthur gets the ball. Corey Neyland and Ryan Osborn would love to see Arthur get into the open because both of you guys say he can run like a jackrabbit.
We saw him at Fullerton Union High School. He had some of the best runs that we had seen at the high school level.
Shaw takes it at the 8, comes up the middle, looks for a little opening, dances to the outside, gets driven out of bounds. Fight going on again, and you're going to see Corey Neyland, you're going to see Fullerton shoot himself as Brandon's son, defensive lineman out of Orange High School, is getting a little chippy out there.
Already had one on the last kickoff.
So it's the Hornets 25, the Dons 0 with 14:43 to go here in the first half. Ethan, well, I'm going to say Pokey and let you guys correct me. Would you say it that way, guys? Running back for Santa Ana right now. Ayala's still in at quarterback. First down and 10. Hand it to the young man straight up the middle.
I'm going to go Pochi.
Pochi? Okay. We'll say Pochi. I sort of wondered. He's out of Yorba Linda High School. Sophomore. 6 feet tall, 210. Good size running back. Ayala needs to find his sharpness as a passer right about now. Open up the game a little. Second down and 8. Just short of the 30. Santa Ana moving right to left for us here. Go right there. Quick little pass. Nice catch right there by Tyrell Green Jr.
But again, Kadari Kearns, that's his 3rd tackle Third tackle of the first half. Eric Hill on the near side, he's one in. Amari Williams on the far side in. In the middle, Bryce Dunnick, the left tackle. Right tackle on defense for the Hornets is going to be Ant Harris. Linebackers, Jeremiah McNeely, 47 near side. Chris Harm, their nickel package, number 42, the other linebacker.
So the Dons, let's see if the Hornets come with a straight defense. 4 down linemen. They flip it over, take it at the 40, backed up, should be enough. They should give him his forward progress. They do. It's a first down and a nice little catch taken there by Constantine, Christian Constantine out of Scott, Louisiana.
Yeah, Vermilion Catholic High School, excuse me. That secondary for the Hornets on the far side is Cassius Kearns along with Max Ahoya.
First down and 10 for the Dons. 13:01 to go here. Hornets creep up defensively. They look like they're coming. They are. Everybody, sell out. Nice little pitch and catch one more time. And if you can break it, if Constantine can break a tackle, he's gone on that play.
Yeah, Chandler Brown overruns the play and makes misses the tackle at the spot of the catch. But again, you have sure tackling with Christian Cross, who brings him down after a gain of 5.
Constantine stays out here. Ayala's found somebody he likes. Gain of 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4. Right at the 45. Ayala now slowing it down, getting his tempo. Doesn't feel the pressure. Letting the game come to him. Throws it over there. Once again, he takes the quick little read, Corey, and he's finding, they're saying the ball came out, ball was down. Corey, he's finding that 1-2, letting his player run out and then come back towards 2 steps and throwing him the ball.
And that's what you have to do because you already have 1 pick, almost a second pick. So you're going that 1-2-3, that wasn't working. You go back 1-2, that's how you get your rhythm, and that's how you throw that defense off. They don't get a chance to set their feet and drive on the ball.
So it's a 3rd down and 1 at the 48-yard line. Ethan Poche in at running back. Ayala back there. We'll see if they throw it. Arthur Shaw goes in motion. We get timeout by Santa Ana with 11:27 to go. Well, it's been all Hornets in this game. It's the Hornets 25, the Dons 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Talking Hornet football, hey, don't forget the Coaches Show here on Sportsnet, USA.net. It's always on 90.1 KBPK. My partner to the right of me, Ryan Osborn, is the host of it. My partner to the left of me shows up every 6 months for the Coaches Show. He shows up. He just happens to be there, and we're filming that day. Ryan Osborn, a lot of conversation with the coaches, but you're going to spread it around to all the teams this year.
Yeah, and we're excited because we've got a lot of water polo content coming up, some soccer content as well. So we're going to be covering a lot of different sports on the Coaches Show. Yes, we will recap Fullerton College football each and every week, but we're going to have a lot of content across 6 different sports on the Coaches Show this semester.
3rd down and 1. Right at the 49. Ayala at quarterback. Poche the running back. Arthur Shaw in motion. They fake it to Shaw. They give it to Poche. And Corey, there was just no one fooled by that Hornet defense.
Ant Harris was the one that made the tackle, but there were 2 Hornet players in the backfield slowing up that play. They tried the little misdirection with Arthur Shaw. They tried to draw the defensive eyes to the left. To the left and try to come back with the right. Just wasn't happening.
Gipson back deep for the Hornets. Up by 25 with 11 minutes to go. Here on Sportsnet USA.net. Starting to cool down just a little outside. Ball bounces. Here it comes. Almost blocked. Since the ball hit the ground, you can level that place kicker. And that's what the Hornets did as the ball goes out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
Good job of David Ramos II to get that punt away, and a nice kick. Hornets were inside their 20. So a nice job by Santa Ana to get the ball out of there. But again, Fullerton College, their special teams almost came up big.
So far, the Hornets can be happy going on. Next week, Fullerton takes on Cerritos at Fullerton Union High School District Stadium.
Woohoo!
That game will be on sports@usa.net.
That might be my favorite home game of the season.
Because it's at home?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Aiden Koenig comes out to the near side of the field, wide receiver. Calvin back in at quarterback for the Hornets. A little rotation going on. Calvin, look, plants his feet, cross the middle of the field. Caught, taken, even though there was a grab right there on Michael Love's collar. Michael Love makes the catch.
And that was an excellent throw, excellent seam route by Love. He had Tim Williams on his hip the whole way and on his collar. He makes that catch where only he can make that catch. Beautiful throw and catch. Can I say catch one more time?
You can.
Yes.
I think somebody needs to tell Michael Love to move back about 6 inches.
I will say, though, he's got to be careful at the end with the taunting. The official was getting set to throw that flag at the end of the play. Ended up putting it back in his pocket.
We're on a straight dive play. Nice little turn, nice little grab. Taken there by Malik Winston. Malik Winston goes straight up the middle. Gets a generous gain of 5 on that play.
And, guys, the throwing game is going to have to open up the run game for the Hornets this season. Sherrod Green is on the right tackle. Right guard is going to be Sammy Garcia. Center, again, Will Peroni still in there. Left tackle is George Silva, 6'8", 300 out of La Habra. And Daniel Medelis, the left guard.
Franklin and Koenig here on the middle. Once again, straight up the middle, handed off to Malik Winston. Malik Winston gets a gain of 3 on the play, almost to the 45-yard line. 9:22 to go here in the first half. They changed everybody out.
One thing that we're going to have to talk to William and also Josh Calvin in practice this week is there any difference with a left-handed center when the ball goes back?
Calvin Shelvin, the up back. Malik Wilson, the deep back. Straight dive play. Takes a little cut at the line of scrimmage. Did Malik Winston make it? I think he's going to be short guy. Okay, Corey Neyland, I'm going to put you in the spot. 4th and 2.
No
Are you
spot.
going?
You go.
Ryan Osborn.
You go for it.
Okay. It's already called. I don't know why Garrett's even talking to anybody out there. Ryan Osborn and Corey Neyland said, yes, let's go. 4th and a half a yard. Josh Calvin looks over, and we're going to get timeout on the field with 8:26 to go. So they didn't go like the 2 gentlemen up at the booth told them they should. They decided to look for, well, maybe a little park and ride spot, which is where we're at right now. 8:26, the Hornets 25. Santa Ana College 0 on Sportsnet, USA.net. East LA Valley Soccer on Sportsnet, USA.net. It's already started. Be coming up this week. Make sure you check the website. They're playing a couple games next week here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So a little East LA Valley Soccer coming up later on in the year. We're going to have a little Cypress Soccer and Cypress Volleyball on Sportsnet, USA.net. So more sports around the corner for you always here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn, I'm the old guy. The other old guy, Ed Ford, well, he's living the life of luxury. He's like out towards Las Vegas. At least he's in the desert. I'm not sure there's any gambling going on where he's at. 4th down, and the Hornets are going to punt it away. Santa Ana doesn't believe him. There's nobody back deep. 4th down and 1. Santa staying up, and Santa Ana waits. Here comes the punt. Nobody's back. Lot of foot. Let's see if the Hornets can stop it. They're going to stop it right at the 15-yard line. We have a flag on the play. Now, this is going to be interesting. Who this flag is going to be on. Mamana, that was the punter on that, Luke Mamana.
And I also want to thank all our listeners for tuning in and watching the stream. And Big Ray, get better, pal. We hope to see you in October. We want to see you, and we'll in person. And also always want to thank you for listening. We miss your presence out here. So get well soon.
We always miss him. He needs to be out here with us. If we're warm, he should be warm.
Well, you know, he's got an excuse. He's got a little surgery going.
Oh, okay.
And any little surgery is a big surgery, so get well, my man.
Arthur Shaw comes out late, finally gets in the slot for Santa Ana. Almost started without him. Shaw needs to be there. The speed burners got to show something here before this half ends. They go away from where Shaw is. The defense there. Good move. Gain a 10 on the play, and Corey, that was just self-propelled by one individual. Again, a little bumping and jostling, but Henning's got a nice little move as a running back. Jamel Henning out of Buena Park High School.
And it was a good play. The offensive line gets out there, creates enough room for him to pick up that first down.
1st and 10 out at the 35. Nice little pitch and catch over there. Second down and a long 6. Right at the 39. Ayala at quarterback. Trying to open things up. Offensive line doing much better for Santa Ana. 25-0 with 7:12 to go. Here they come. Hornets look like they're bringing pressure. Ayala's got a whole team coming at him. Throws it out here in the flat. Good defensive play. And Corey Neyland, you've got to like what happened right there because they tried to get it to Henning. Kristen Cross was all over the play. So the defense for the Hornet is now starting to become smothering. Brandon Taylor here to the near side of the field. Cannon King in the slot next to him. Look for Cannon King, see if he can get away. Ayala goes back, rolls in that direction, throws it over here. Taken on a quick catch by Arthur Shaw, but it's going to be short of a first down. We'll see if the Dons punt it away.
And that comment, Ryan, was from the guy. Pops, you know who I'm talking about, Pops. Ring that bell. We saw that post. Good things we saw. We'll hit you up later.
Brandon Taylor stays over here, near side of the field. Jamel Henning in the slot. 4th down and 3. Just across the 40 for the Dons. 6:21 to go. Hornets creep up. Ayala looks for it. Taken. Henning catches it. Is going to be short of a first down.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you got the better angle.
Caught it, turned, and got hit right when he caught it.
Chandler Brown was there to prevent that first down. Yeah, that's going to be half a yard short.
So the defense makes a stand with 6:11 to go here at Eddie West Field. The Santa Ana Bowl. Key to the county on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ryan, Corey, the old guy. And the Hornets come out. Taj Gregory now in at quarterback for the Hornets. So Gregory keeps it himself. Taj Gregory dances the outside, stays on his feet, goes down at the 32.
And you wanted to say he's tripped up once, tripped up twice. On that second time, Devin Jones got his ankles. Lancer out of Bishop Amat brings down the lanky gentleman out of Coppell, Texas.
So Garnett Davis III, running back, they hand it to him. Garnett gets hit in the backfield, can't get away. Loss of about a half a yard on the play.
Anthony Gomez, Coyote out of Buena Park.
Josh Calvin comes back into the game.
And you know, guys, last year Brandon Rankin was a key focal point for Fullerton. He almost, well, he could have had 1,000 yards rushing with more attempts, but 725 yards, the leading rusher, that's a big loss.
Garnett Davis III stays in. Fakes it, throws it out, drops it into the bucket right in the hand of Cameron Woods. And Cameron Woods just sucked it up and took it in for the score.
And Mark, it's a beautiful skinny post run by the outside receiver, Michael Love. And what your tight end does, Cameron Woods comes a little bit on the outside, just behind him. Not quite a drag route, but a square out and up on the outside. And that defensive back can't overcome those 2 yards. And those 2 yards turned into 4. And when you have a 4-yard cushion, that's an easy pitch and catch.
Cameron Woods, when you look at him as a tight end, 6'3", 220 pounds, freshman, out of Shadow Ridge in Las Vegas, Nevada. Ball is kicked, it's up, it's good, and once again, well, you've got the Hornets as Jonathan Faubert puts another one through. It's now the Hornets 32, the Dons 0 with 5:06 to go here in the first half. And of course, you know, Garrett Campbell is once again running the leadership across the way. Brian Crooks, the very comparable number 2 man, is there. Then you look at Dave Robinson. Donnie, our offensive line coach, is looking at him. You look at that. So you got Brian Crooks, Phil Opson, David Robinson, Conrad White, Jarrett Williams, Kevin Marino, Chris Dixon, Keenan Garden. Dustin Sober is back. Sean McCormick was out there today. Jeff Cameron and Dave Lamb. Those are the staff. And Big Donnie. I just call Donnie the big man on campus.
Donnie Lovendon, a guest on the Coaches Show this week.
Who thought he's afraid of big cockroaches. I did discover that.
You're not?
Yeah. So is Corey Neyland and Ryan Osborn. But, you know, Donnie is a big man.
That was a big cockroach.
Deep kick. Taking it the 8. Looking for an opening. Get to the 20. Special teams have looked good in this game. Phil Austin. Special teams and defensive backs. His squad today has looked very good in this game.
Yeah, and when you look at those defensive backs, we talked to him on the Coaches Show. He mentioned that when he has a newer group of defensive backs, it's difficult to be able to show guys how you transfer athleticism into a scheme, into technique, how to mesh both of those quickly, especially if you're getting your very first in-game reps of a season or a college career. But they're doing just fine doing so.
Joshua Wells goes up far side of the field. Henning in at runner back. Ayala at quarterback. Constantine here. Henning goes in motion. Now outside of Wells on the far side of the field. Ayala steps up. Nobody's picking him up. Looks across the middle of the field. Corey, he had 2 receivers, both of them cut in front of each other. And in doing so, it causes chaos. And Joshua Wells cannot come away with the pass. Second down and 10 for the Dons at the 25. So defense doing what they're supposed to be doing. Lindell Thurston now in the game for Santa Ana. Ayala, empty backfield. 5 minutes to go here in the first half. 32-0 Hornets. Cerritos next week. Ayala goes back. Has time, rolls out. Across the middle of the field. That time finds Henning. First down. Santa Ana move the chains. Henning, a versatile back for these Dons. Jamel Henning sophomore out of Buena Park. 5'10", 180 pounds, can do a little bit of everything for Santa Ana. First down and 10 at the 38. Ayala looks over the defense. Sends Arthur Shaw in motion. Throws in the flat. Arthur Shaw gets it. Gets across the sticks up to the 40. Gain of 2 on the play.
One thing that you like to see here with the Key to the County, Mark, the turnout from these fans. You have a lot of people here on the Santa Ana side, on the Fullerton side as well. It's really nice to be able to see the community come out and support the Key to the County game, considering how historic it is in Orange County.
Yeah, and when we first looked, we didn't think we were going to see many people.
No.
And they really did. They showed up, a lot of cheers for the Santa Ana fans. Down the middle of the field. Taken out of the air. Nice little catch there by Kyron Hayes, who pulls it down for Santa Ana. Hayes goes out there and picks it up out of Bishop Amat. Fontana, California, 6'4", 200 pounds. Nice catch. Great throw by Ayala.
Beautiful technique there too, Mark. He turns around, he locates the ball, and makes sure he boxes out his defender, so that way he had the inside position and was the only one who could get to that football.
Ayala takes his time. Shaw now goes to the far side of the field with Hayes. Henning comes on the near side of the field. Empty backfield for Santa Ana, 3:15. Shaw goes in motion. Ayala throwing behind a receiver, Corey Neyland, that was wide open in the slot and running the seam.
You see how they used Arthur Shaw on the outside, and you saw the safety run quickly up for Arthur Shaw, but the seam was wide open, just a miscommunication and a miss hit by the Dons. That was one they needed.
Yeah, 3:10 to go, 32-0 here at Eddie West Field.
That was kind of like that last pass play on the far side. Looked like Tyler Vaughn's out of Bishop Amat running down the field, tall and lanky.
Yeah, nice look, nice catch like Ryan Osborn told you. Ayala slowing it down, goes back, comes up, same direction. He's got him, just misses the fingertips, and Corey, beautiful pass, just a little, and I mean a little off the mark. If they've got it, Santa Ana gets their first 7.
Yeah, safety Anthony Wilson was a little bit late on recognizing the route. But again, just off the fingertips from Fullerton College, and Anthony Wilson comes out for Kadari Kearns. The corner that had a step on him was Cassius Kearns.
Wells in the slot on the left-hand side. Constantine outside of him on the left-hand side. Ayala starts him in motion, goes back, looks for the screen, could have been picked, and boy, I tell you, a big man who can't catch a football, the dream just faded away.
LeBaron Kennedy saw the tip, saw 6, and saw the interception dropped.
You know, it's funny you say that, Corey, because you could see him. That ball goes in the air, and he turns to his right to see how much daylight he had. And then by the time he took a look at where that football was, it was off his hand and on the floor.
Yeah, you gotta look at it. His big athletic play. It looks like he would have made it and can run if he had an opportunity.
You know what that reminded me of when I saw that play? It's sort of like when you open up a box of donuts for somebody in this booth and their eyes light up when they're reaching for that donut they want, and then they realize it doesn't have chocolate, it's maple on top, and they decide they don't want that donut. Player hurt on the field.
Jeremiah McNeely, he's had a strong first half.
So he goes off. 3 minutes to go. Fullerton 32, Santa Ana 0. Remember, other games coming up. East LA. Little soccer on East LA College here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So the Hornets have been dominant in this first half, and Santa Ana has just been off a little offensively. Ayala comes back out, hoping to get something here before the 3 minutes is up. 4th down and 10 at the 30. Here comes the pressure. Brian Crook sells out, throws over. Can't get taken. The receiver was there. The throw was there. Couldn't get pulled in. And the defense, once again, stops Santa Ana. Brian Crooks may be that conversation you want to have at the coaches show next week.
You know what? That is a great idea, Mark, but also take a look at the other side. I like the play call there. You know what? You got less than 3 minutes to go to halftime. You're down by 32. Why not go for 6?
You know, and Mark just mentioned that Santa Ana is just a little bit off. And that play represented just a little bit off because he had the receiver. And it just couldn't bring it down and score that 6.
Tyrell Green Jr. in at running back. Josh Calvin, quarterback, gives it off to Green. Gets hit, stood up after a gain of 3. Refuses to go down. Keeps running. And both, he wouldn't quit. Santa Ana, and they throw a flag. And guys, who did they throw the flag on? The running back wouldn't stop. The defender wouldn't let go. But there was, to me, no malice there. Why do you throw a flag?
Because they can.
Thank you.
That's
why
right,
I have you up here, so you understand and define the rules of football for me.
That's expert analysis right there, son.
And that's why Corey Neyland is here, because it is what it is.
No.
Having an expert next to me.
No, because I can be here. That's why.
So we're going to see. I would pick up the flag. See if the referees do that. So they're
practicing for the 4th quarter, Mark.
I guess so. That's when we start looking at it and go, that's the 57th, and it's now 11:05. So we wind the clock with 2:40 to go.
11:05, and it's only 98 degrees. You're right, Mark. It is
That's
cooler.
Right. That's right. Tyrell Green Jr. still the running back. Josh Calvin goes back. Flips it over. A quick little pitch taken there by C.J. Broy. Broy comes down with it past the 40. He should have enough for a first down. So the receivers have been exemplary tonight. The ball gets to them, and Corey, they've done what they're supposed to do, catch it. And it's not one of these nights where they keep dropping the football. Receiving core, at least for tonight, looks excellent.
And the bounce-back quarterback looked good as well.
Josh Calvin goes back. First down and 10 at the 40. Calvin goes back. Steps back. Finds an opening. Nobody's going to pick him up. Takes off running. We have a flag behind the play. It should be holding against the Hornets.
Should be, Mark. It is holding against the Hornets. Sherrod Green.
And, of course, Calvin got his helmet knocked off, so like Ryan Osborn has told you already, once you lose your helmet, you have to come out of the game, right?
For at least one play.
So he comes out. We're into the 2-minute mark here in the first half. It's the Hornets 32, the Dons 0 here on SportsNetUSA.net. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn. I'm the old guy, Mark Pavlovich. Ed Ford, always making sure these games get on the air here for SportsNetUSA.net. Taj Gregory now in the game, I believe. Straight up the middle, on the play. Nice run there by Tyrell Green Jr. And there was Brandon Nunez in at quarterback. So Tyrell Green Jr. gets a beautiful run over 30 yards, Ryan Osborn. And now it's a running attack. We'll see if the Hornets stick with it. Nunez goes back, looking down the middle of the field. Jordan Smith all by himself. Touchdown, Hornets. And Jordan Smith has just, and we've got a flag on the far side of the field at the 50. Let's hope it's not against the Hornets, because that would negate a 40. And we take away a 46-yard touchdown pass from Nunez to Smith on a penalty. All the quarterbacks, and guys, I'm going to give it to you with 104. We'll let the camera run. Your analysis of the quarterbacks as a group with 104 to go.
Good.
Thank you.
So far. First half, you know, what can you say? First game of the season, first half, they've looked good.
I think the reads are good. I think that Calvin has looked really good controlling the offense. Nunez, you see right there, just on that last throw, the grasp that he has of the Fullerton College offense.
Nunez takes it to the 50.
When you go to Gipson, when we saw him for the 2 plays earlier in the second quarter, he had 2 good runs. So 2 really good reads on his end, doing exactly what the coaches tell him to do, find some space on the outside, and he does exactly that. So each of these 3 quarterbacks have different skill sets for Fullerton, and they have displayed them well here in the first half.
Timeout on the field with 53 seconds to go. It's the Hornets 32, the Dons 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. And I guess the downside, guys, I mean, has it been the defense? Is that smothering? Or is it Santa Ana's, just like I said? They've been close. They just haven't been able to find that one moment for them to feel, okay, we're on our game.
Yeah, I don't think they have been. I think Fullerton, this is a focused Fullerton team. Even when they beat Santa Ana a few years ago, I don't think they were that as focused as a team. Even the score was, a big score, but they weren't as good. I mean, this is a good-looking team for the first half, for the first game of your college football season. This is as good as it gets.
Okay.
And I'm going to use good a couple more times.
All right, well, we'll let you with 53 seconds to go. So the Hornets up by 32. Going back, Nunez says, you took one away from me, throws it up. We're going to get a flag on the play. Should be holding one more time. Oh, and he's not in. Back into the game is Josh Calvin.
And you speak of the goodness that we were talking about, and that time Calvin didn't make his initial throw over the middle, held on it too long, forces a hold by his lineman, and an incomplete pass. The pressure was applied by Sia Osi, and that's where I'm going to leave it at, because if you can pronounce his last name, hit us up for us with the phonetically spelled last name. We'll get that on the air. So that was Nime Tolu, who forces the intentional grounding and applied the pressure.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm looking across the way. It says second. And I'm thinking, how do you go from second to fourth unless you're somebody who went to a certain college here and you just can't handle numbers in this area?
It's okay. 1, 2, 3.
We got 4 fingers.
4.
There, see, look at that. Mathematician in my left.
We can count to 4.
So a timeout, 46 seconds on the clock here in the first half. It's the Hornets 32, could have been 39. Great pass once again to Jordan Smith. Nunez throws it, holding on the play, took back a 47-yard touchdown pass, and the Hornets have moved backwards ever since. But the first half is right around the corner, and the Hornets, if you're a Hornet fan, got to be happy. You're up by 32 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ryan Osborn, Corey Neyland. We'll take a look at the first half and look at what we may think here in the SCFA about, well, with the Hornets, because we've looked at who they may play this season, and there might only be one real obstacle in the way, and that could be the team that won it all last year here on Sports.USA.net. So Josh Calvin comes back in. Third down, it's 6 miles to get there. Cut up the middle, sidestep, stay on your feet. Don't go down, struggle, try to fight your way out of the thing. You almost get there. First down, Hornets, on a run right there by Malik Winston, who refused to go down. And Malik said, well, I know how to get to the stadium. You get on the 55, you head for Newport Beach, Oh, no, that wasn't Malik. That was somebody else I know.
I love the offensive line opening that hole on the right side. They pushed everyone to the weak side and moved that lane to his right.
Malik comes out, hand it off straight again. Who do you hand it to? Well, the man who's done most of the work, Tyrell Green Jr. So Tyrell gets a couple of yards on that. And we come down to the end of this first half. We're at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They will not make it, and that brings us to the end of the first half. They'll look at the official and blame him. As we come to the end of the first half, it's the Hornets 32, the Dons 0, here on Sportsnet USA.net. Ryan Osborn, Corey Neyland, and I'm the old guy here on Sportsnet USA.net.
I think we'll adjourn and get some stats for you, gentlemen.
All right, so Corey Neyland's going to go down and grab some numbers for us. We'll see what that happens here on Sportsnet USA.net. As Santa Ana goes off the field first, and then the Hornets will go off the field second. An impressive first half by the Hornets on all aspects of the game, Ryan Osborn. The offense probably did more than we thought they would here in the first half. Brian Crook's defense, where we were told they were small but fast, demonstrated their speed. And then you have Phil Austin's defensive backs, even though they're ball hawks, like Corey Neyland's called him that, they seem to be responsible ball hawks, not like the ball hawks of the past here on Sportsnet USA.net.
You know, what's interesting, Mark, is all we heard throughout the last 2 weeks is we're going to see what we have. We're going to see what growing pains there will be. We're going to see what personnel we can toss out there, whether it be 2s, 3s, and even down to the 4s as well, and see who we can plug in so that way they get an opportunity to get game time and see what the chemistry is. In that first half, now you, Corey, and I will never say that something is perfect. But when you look at this first half, I think that first quarter is exactly what Fullerton wanted in terms of play style, in terms of pace of play, and in terms of controlling the game on the defensive side. When it came to the second quarter, we saw a little bit of those growing pains that they were talking about. A couple more flags, a couple more holds as well from that offensive line. But if you're Fullerton and the coaching staff, you're really pleased with how the first 2 quarters went.
Hey, Corey, I got to ask you, because we know that Garrett loves to run multiple quarterbacks in his offense. And yet, I have to be with you on all these quarterbacks. I mean, I didn't see where you go, why did he take that guy out? This guy's doing nothing. This is ridiculous. Why is he playing this guy? There wasn't a quarterback that I would say had a bad set when they went out there, or series when they went out there on the field. Dilemma for the head coach, because if you're that good, you don't want to sit on the bench.
I don't see a dilemma at all, because all 3 quarterbacks really had a rhythm. You know your number 1 guy out there is going to be Josh Calvin. He's proven and shown he's your number 1 quarterback out there, and he had a good rhythm. But the other 2 quarterbacks equally got their time, executed when they were in the ball game. Whether it's one play, whether it's a handoff or a pitch, they executed to positive performances in that first half. So when all 3 quarterbacks are in a rhythm and your offensive play calling is in a rhythm, those quarterbacks can be interchangeable. It's when you get out of rhythm, and this is what happened last year, in an opinion, that they didn't have a rhythm. They didn't have that identity of what they wanted to do. They couldn't execute continuously or constantly. They execute and take a couple plays off, a couple series off, a game off, then they'd come back. This first half, it was pushing the ball down the field and constantly moving in that direction.
And like I said, Ryan, before you came in, this is a defense that's maybe not that big, but they're fast. They seem to go to the responsible spots, and we have seen those wildcat backs before that want to get interceptions, but you've said to me in the past where, you know, he's always loved the backs, but, you know, in the past where you've said, hey, they didn't stay at home. They're not listening to their coach. Tonight we've seen guys that are ball hawks, but they're staying home to defend first, ball second.
Big is overrated.
Okay.
They're not big, but they have good size. They have good size, and they're fundamentally sound. They're not big, but they're smart. So you have smart, fundamentally sound, good size defense. You'll take that. Who listens and goes out and executes. That's 5 instances. That's 5 items. That's 5 examples of a defense that could be the better ones you see out there in the SCFA and all around the CCCAA.
Well, I'm going to get out of your way in a second, let you and Ryan talk. I know you've got the numbers that maybe we'll be surprised with here in this first half. So it's 32-0 here at halftime for the Key to the County game on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Ouch.
You know, one thing that's interesting, Corey, I went over it on the coaches show, is the overall rankings in the state of California. And, you know, you, Mark, and I always go over the state of California rankings before the season starts, and we always look and say, hey, you know what, we agree with this call, we don't agree with this call. But for the most part, in the first 15 or the top 15 in the state of California, basically what we figured. Top 2 being Riverside City College and City College of San Francisco. I mean, they go to the state championship 9 times out of 10 in the state of California. The teams that go to the state championship finish 1 and 2 in the preseason poll to start. When you take a look outside the top 2, though.
Speaking of outside, Mark will probably want to take a step outside right now.
Nice breeze, starting to cool down here in Santa Ana. But speaking also of a place with a good breeze, Ventura comes in at number 3, and College of San Mateo with one of the best stadiums in all of community college football.
One of the best stadiums? You know how I feel about College of San Mateo Stadium.
It is the most picturesque stadium in all of community college football. So both of those two teams finished 3 and 4. Now where it gets interesting is College of the Canyons and Golden West sit at 5 and 6. College of the Canyons finished with a 7 and 3 record, but they didn't have the season that Golden West did. Golden West goes 11 and 1, finishes in the Southern California Championship game, maybe 4 inches away from going to the state championship game. They finish 11 and 1, but College of the Canyons gets the nod over Golden West.
I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I think if Golden West had brought back their quarterback from last year, I think that's a huge difference. I know they lost another wide receiver, one of the starting wide receivers. I know they lost a few defensive players, probably the defensive player of the year in our opinion last year in Saval. So I'm not surprised that College of the Canyons is there. Golden West is going to have to prove that they have that preseason ranking. They got that ranking for what based on last year, which in all honesty, they were one of the 2 best teams in the state. Not to take anything away from San Francisco, not to take anything away from Riverside City College, but Golden West, that was their year. And we'll see if it's a team like Ventura's year, because Ventura, they got to the state championship game a few years ago, and they lost. But is that the next team that's going to get over that hump? Because they've been on that level for years now, but just haven't got over that hump in quite some time.
You know, a team that I feel also has that same opportunity, but in Northern California, is Modesto. Modesto, over the last 10 years, if you go from years 10 through 5, not the greatest of seasons. But you go from 5 to now, and they have had some of the best success in their program's history in recent memory, at least.
I think Modesto needs that huge win, though. They're not going to get that respect, even though they're moving up. They need that win against San Mateo if they play San Mateo. They need that win against San Francisco. They need to continuously win against teams like American River and Fresno.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because last year they go 8 and 3. All 3 losses were to teams who were in the top 5.
Yes.
That's it. It's not like they ended up playing, number 21 Sierra. They ended up taking a bad loss. No, all 3 of their losses were in the top 5.
And I'm not saying they need to win all those 3. They need to win one of those games.
A statement win.
Yes. So they can, okay, now we have arrived. You just didn't open the door for us. We busted it down.
Finishing off the top 10, American River and Butte, who battled in the Northern California Championship a few years back, and Mount Sac and Fresno City at 9 and 10. That brings us down to the Hornets, who sit at number 13. I mean, you talked about it with Mark at the start of the broadcast. Last year, not the season that Fullerton College would have liked, arguably the last 2 years being equal to that, but they have an opportunity to start proving themselves once again and bringing them to the heights that they had in 16, 17, and 18.
Can I go Homer right now?
Absolutely.
A little bit? Okay, so I'll do a little Homer analysis for you. This is the perfect rank for Fullerton at number 13, because normally Fullerton comes in the top 5 team. People can't stand Fullerton. They hate Fullerton. They're overrated. This year at number 13, they're not as good. See, we told you they were overrated. Now at 13, you have something to play for. You've got to creep up every single week to get in that top 4 at the end of the season. You've got to play with that, and cliche number 12 for the day, you got to play with that chip on your shoulder. You got to play cliche number 13, disrespected, and come out. So this is a good fit for the Hornets.
So number 13, Fullerton College. Last year 6 and 5. This year, well, they have a good start, 32-0 over Santa Ana College at the half. You know,
plus Ryan, they had a scrimmage and a first game. No excuses this year.
When you talk about that first game, the opponent, Santa Ana, comes in with also receiving votes, which is a big step for Santa Ana College because, you know, over the past few seasons leading up to them going down to the American Conference, they had run on some tough times. They needed the opportunity to go down to the American Conference, regroup, get their program back to where it needs to be, and then a possible move in the future. Well, that's exactly what they did last year. Arguably one of their better seasons in recent memory. 7-4 record. They end up going to the American Conference Championship in Southern California. They are conference champions in their own right. That's huge for this Santa Ana College program, who's trying to not only reset, but also right a ship.
They're trying to get back to the glory days. They're trying to get back to the August days. I mean, they're a team that, and there's been a little bit of friction between Fullerton and Santa Ana lately, and that goes to a conversation we've had a couple years ago about recruiting and what the key to the county game means. Last year, a couple years ago, we had a lengthy conversation with coaches about it just doesn't mean the same as it used to because of the recruiting, because you don't get just the local kids. You have kids out of Florida who have no idea. You got kids out of North Carolina, out of Texas who just don't understand the gravity of the key to the county game. But I think this year, and we're talking both squads, have done a nice job, and coaching staff have done a nice job of the importance of it. 99 years is a long time. 99 games is a long time.
So we're going to take a quick look on those 99 games, but actually we're going to take a look at the state of California first. So we were talking about the rankings a couple moments ago. We have some out-of-town scores, Sacramento City and American River. American River just squeaks out a win thanks to a safety. They win it 15-13. So they go up to 1-0. Golden West beats Orange Coast 41-7. But a big result in the state of California in week number 1. Sequoias beats Butte in week 1, 39-33. So College of the Sequoias goes to 1-0. Butte goes to 0-1. And again, Butte was ranked number 7 in the top 10 in the state of California. They start off with a quick 0-1 record as they lose to Sequoias, 39-33.
So Sequoias is continuing last year's run of their athletic program. I think they were top 8 in basketball. I think they went to the Final Four in basketball.
They did.
The swim championships, they won a few there. Now they bring it over here to the first game of the football season.
When you take a look around, San Francisco, 31-20, they end up with a win, so they go to 2-0 on their record. But the big game of the week or the weekend in terms of rankings in the top 15, Modesto and Laney. Modesto holding a 7-point lead with 1 minute and 15 seconds left, but Laney has the football. So we'll get you more on those out-of-town scoreboard or on that out-of-town scoreboard coming up as the game goes along. But since we are at the 99th playing of the Key to the County game, we re-welcome Mark Pavlovich into the booth. Mark Pavlovich, Corey Neyland, the voices of Fullerton College football, getting set for the second half.
Did you get the stats?
I did get the stats.
Okay, all right. I took a little break, got away from these two very talkative individuals. Boy,
Wow. See,
wow.
you got to look from the coaches about being talkative.
Yeah, there he is.
And you
There
know,
got that.
and that's one of
Sean McCormick giving us a wave. Hey, you know
yeah,
what?
but no, seriously, that's one of the smartest guys in community college football.
Yeah, he is. He is. And you, if you ever got a chance to talk to him, what stats stood out to you though, Corey, when you went through the stats? 'Cause I did take a break.
What stood out to me? The score.
Thank you. I ask him something, and I get
20
a word.
20 rushes, 121 yards on the ground for the Hornets. That's the stat, not the total yards, 292 total yards in that first half, but the rush, 121. If they can get 150 a game, Fullerton Hornet football is back. And third down efficiency, they were 4 of 6 in the first half. 66%, that'll get it done.
Yeah, I agree with Corey, Ryan. I got to say, if the running attack is 120 to 150 a game, it will be incredible.
And so Mark Pavlovich never met a stranger. Got a neighbor here in Santa Ana. There you go.
That's my next door neighbor's brother.
There you go. The Green Bay house.
And I didn't bring up the Packers. You
didn't
notice that.
You know what? This
doesn't
might
matter.
be-
We told you. It's going to be referenced at least once a game.
This might be the first time since I've been on the broadcast with you guys where Mark doesn't bring it up, but it's someone who's not on the broadcast who brings it up.
That's right, because I'm so popular, I'm known all over the nation.
Josh Calvin, guys, was 9 of 10. 155 yards in those 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
Malik Winston with his long run of 31 yards, 5 carries, 45 yards. Tyrell Green was 6 for 33 yards. Receptions, again, Jordan Smith, 3 for 57. He had that 47-yard touchdown pass taken away from him. In the defensive side of the ball, Amari Williams, a sack and 2 tackles for loss. Salen Streeter, that 1 pick 6 in that first quarter.
Back deep is Henning. Standing next to him is going to be Arthur Shaw. So Shaw back deep.
That's okay.
So I'm getting. Goes back. Arthur Shaw. Henning's got it. Henning turns the corner at the 30, down to the 40, down to the 41.
So what it does, Mark.
Oh, you have to turn it off during the football for the kickoff?
No, for the whole second half, but we're good.
Oh, I can't read anything without it.
We don't need to. So, Mark, you have fans down there.
Who's waving at me? Is there somebody waving at me?
They were.
Oh, okay. I'm so old, guys. Look what you're doing to me. Turning out the lights, telling me people are out there. Ayala back at quarterback. Let's see if they can do something now here from the 38-yard line on sports@usa.net. We're starting the second half. The Hornets are up by 32. Quick little pass there. Taken. Nice little flip and catch. And we'll see if the twos come out for Brian, as that's taken right there by Tyler Hampton. And Hampton catches that one.
Ayala was 17 of 28, 140 yards in the first half, and had that pick 6.
In motion is Frangel. Frangel now in the backfield. They fake it to Frangel. Ayala tries to go back. Arthur Shaw is just covered like a blanket. Ryan Osborn wants to throw a flag on the play. Corey says, just turn on the heating pad if you're that cold.
If a couple of those pass interferences by the secondary of Santa Ana were called, that should be also a pass interference. It should have been held by McNeely.
The reason why that should be a hold is because he grabs the outside shoulder and then hooks it back around to twist him away from having inside position.
3rd down and 4. Right at the 44-yard line. Santa Ana looking for some sort of answer here. Taking the time. Comes the pressure. It's all over. Throw in the flat. Come back and catch it. Incomplete pass. Little too much heat on the ball on a comeback route and to the outside corner.
Yeah, not a good angle for either the receiver or the quarterback. He just couldn't set his feet for one, and couldn't get that arm enough at the right angle to complete that pass. Good stand by the Hornet defense to start this 3rd quarter.
C.J. Broy is back deep. Broy steps up to the 25. Wide receiver for the Hornets. They fake it, run it up the middle. Corey Neyland, 1st down, and they've done it with the back who has been all night. Henning, who gets the big play for him. Jamel Henning on the fake gets a 1st down for Santa Ana.
Good play by Santa Ana. Anthony White and his coaching staff realize you're down big to start the 2nd half. So you need something for a spark, and that may be the spark to get them into the end zone in this drive.
Good job on the sell, too, by the punter, because he acts as if that ball goes over top of him. The outside rushers all stand up because they're trying to locate where the football is, don't realize that the guy's past them.
Hampton to the left, Shaw to the right. Throw it flat, give it to Arthur Shaw, misses one tackle. Gets taken down. Ball goes out of bounds, but it's a completion and stays in possession of Santa Ana with 13:24 to go.
Ahoya and Kearns there on the stop of Arthur Shaw.
So Cesar Ayala getting into a rhythm now out of Eisenhower High School, San Bernardino, where he's from. Ayala trying to get something going. 2nd down and 4 for the Dons at the 42-yard line. Darkness is set in. Thank goodness not in the booth. I'm old enough. Arthur Shaw gets it. Tries to get a block. Tries to get a fake. Arthur Shaw will get a 1st down as they force him out of bounds. Right across the 35. Quick passes, short passes, enough for 1st down.
And again, Ayala and Shaw has hooked up for the longest pass play in Don history. And because of a few missed tackles on that play, I think it was 98 yards. This play right here, you saw the tackling of Fullerton. You may have juked one, but there's another one right behind him. Makes the tackle. They still pick up the 1st down, but nothing more.
Cossack and Wells standing together. Hampton right next to him. Wells goes in motion, goes out in the flat. Once again, cross the middle of the field, 30. Nice gain of 6. They're not looking for anything dramatic. It's simple.
And what they're doing is they're playing a numbers game on the outside. They're putting 2 receivers against 1 linebacker, 2 receivers against 1 cornerback, and you're making them choose wherever you go, I'm going to throw it to the other one.
So a 2nd down and 4 here on SportsNetUSA.net. Here comes the pressure. Throws it up in the corner. He's there. Can he catch it? He can't get underneath it. Beautiful layout of the pass, and Corey, this is what they've missed all night long. 1 step too far.
But it's the push up front by the Hornets. Brandon Son and company come up. Yeah, Brandon and Son and company come up, makes him throw it 1 step before he wants to.
Corey Neyland looking around, wondering what all the dip and dap is going on here on SportsNetUSA.net. Big 3rd down for the Dons. Here comes the pressure one more time. Throw out in the flat. Short by about a half a foot for the Dons. They're going to mark him out at the 26. They needed to get to the 25. So here they go once again. Cossack goes to the far side of the field with Joshua Wells. Ayala looks over. Steps back. 4th down and 1. We'll see if the Hornet defense can come up with a big stop. Ayala waiting for the clock to kick down. It's at 3. Straight up the middle. Nice little dive play. And once again, they get a 1st down, so they move it. They've got him back at the sticks, don't they, Corey?
If he's at the 25-yard line, that's a 1st down.
And they've got him past the 25, so that's a 1st down. So Ethan Poche gets the 1st down for the Dons on that running play. Hitting back in the backfield. Shaw over here on the near side with Wells and Cossack. Ayala looks, fakes it, throws it over there, taken out of the air. Shaw's got it, gets wrangled up by 5 Hornets after a gain of 3 on the play.
And what they do is run a little slip screen with those 3. One of the receivers, and here's a mouthing off penalty by one of the teams. One goes up by 2 yards. The other comes back 2 yards, and they slip Arthur Shaw in the middle of that.
And Ryan just said it's Chris Harm. Did you say that was on?
Yeah, it was. He started talking to Shaw, and then after they separated, he told him to look at the scoreboard, and that's when the flag came out.
Oh, that'll do it.
So unsportsmanlike conduct against the Hornets. It's going to take it down to the 12. And Corey Neyland, this is the one thing I've never understood. How many years have we watched unsportsmanlike conduct against the Hornets? You know, we could end up getting, like, if they gave us $1 for every time they got that penalty.
Could have down payment on something.
I tell you, we wouldn't have to worry about paying for parking across the street right now.
Donuts every weekend.
That's it. Big. 1st down and 10 for the Dons. Ayala'd like to get something. Goes back. Here comes the pressure. Holds in there. They fight for a touchdown, Santa Ana. And really a beautiful fight for the ball by Curran Hayes. That fights for it, Corey. The defender was all over him. Pushing and jostling by each one of them. The official let him play football like you like it. And it was a touchdown for the Dons.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a back shoulder throw. It was kind of more of a back hip throw. But still, a nice play by Hayes, nice throw by Ayala. Good defense by Christian Cross. But again, better play. You make the play, you deserve that touchdown. No fault, and you move on.
Ball spotted, kick is up. And the kick is good. So with 9:50 to go. Well, does the second half belong to Santa Ana? If it does, key to the county could come down to the last play of this game here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Is the comeback starting? Is this where they come back and get involved?
I think that was a good confidence booster because you realize Santa Ana didn't just get a quick strike. It wasn't a fluke. They marched their way downfield. They brought out the playbook. They expanded a little bit, and they were able to work their way into a good offensive series, a good drive that turned into points. So if anything, that's a bigger momentum boost and confidence booster than a quick strike would have been.
Well, if you want to give them hope, there is hope. This Santa Ana team under this regime, most points scored in one game. That was last year, 2021. 83 points against L.A. Pierce. Most touchdowns completed in a game last year by Ayala, 7. Or most completions in a game, 40. Most touchdowns in the game is 7. And the longest pass play also occurred last year, 98 yards from Ayala to Shaw. So if you want offensive productivity in the second half, this is a team that can do it.
Back deep for the Hornets is going to be Michael Love. Standing next to him is going to be Kristen Stewart. It goes over Love's head and out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. 9:50 to go. Fight on the field kicking, stepping on a player. No flags are thrown.
I think that was more of a off-balance kick.
Corey Neyland, kung fu master up here.
It was like the crane kick if you're off balance. You're going off balance to one side, and then you just flip the foot right over.
Corey just got a new brown belt to match his pants, so.
I do need a new belt, actually.
See? Santa Ana's over there jawing in the officials' ears about there should have been a flag. Not going to happen. 9:50 to go. The Hornets up by 25. Conversation on the sidelines by the Hornets. Gipson comes out here to the near side of the field. In the slot next to him is going to be Stewart. Back at quarterback one more time, Josh Calvin. Calvin goes back, looks at the back coming out, who gets flattened by the defensive back on a wheel route. And Corey, the wheel route happens. Garnett Davis III never saw that defensive back.
No, and Tim Williams read that play from jump, and there was no way that ball was going to be completed based on that hit. And it was a legal hit, not head first, shoulder into the ball carrier or to the receiver, and discharge or disjars the ball.
C.J. Broy and Jordan Smith to the far side of the field. Near side of the field is going to be Gipson. Calvin hangs it off. Nice little turn, straight up the middle one more time. And the running game that was not supposed to happen here, Tyrell Green Jr. once again cuts off a big run. 6 foot, 195 pounds. Boy, Corey Neyland, you've got to like the run game you're seeing.
Another 21 yard, give him over 50 for the game.
First down and 10. They go back. Here comes the pressure. Big quarterback using his feet. Looking for a receiver coming back. He gets it to Gipson. Gibson's got nobody. He finally realizes, oh my goodness, if he waits for his partner and lets Green get in front of him, he's got touchdown written all over it.
Yeah, C.J. Broy needs to make that one tackle, and that was going to be a beautiful 55-yard touchdown play. But again, a big play coming back to your quarterback to help him out.
Across the middle, taken down just short, and that's once again Jordan Smith, who has just been spectacular. I think that's the best way to put it tonight for him. He had a touchdown taken away from him.
Yeah, I think these receivers are showing much more confidence than Fullerton had seen last year. They were good last year.
Dive play up the middle. They crawl in. It should be touchdown Hornet. It's touchdown Hornet. So they answer quickly on the run. They come back through and once again score there by Tyrell Green Jr., who gets his 2 yards for a touchdown with 8:51 to go.
Yeah, this offense seems much more confident than last year. Last year they had some big moments. They had some key plays. But this first game of the season, they've got athletes out there who seem like it's all about the team.
Bobert comes in for the point after. Ball spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good. Ryan Osborn, we had a friend of ours come by and visit us at halftime that wasn't happy at the beginning of the game. You've had him on the coach's show, and he had a smile on his face. Do you think he sees more from that offensive line that he coaches than they'd been seeing out at practice? And is that one of the reasons we got the grin that we got and the little, hey, guys, it's nice to see you finally?
You know what? I think it is because we talked to the coaching staff, and a lot of them said that's going to be our X factor. We talked about it at the start of the broadcast as well. The O-line is going to tell you how the season will go offensively. When you look at the O-line, they've opened up lanes and pockets for Calvin to step into, and they have opened up running lanes as well for Green to run into. So if you look at this O-line, and considering a lot of them are new, a lot of them are getting playing time, like real meaningful playing time for the first time. With how well that they have performed, opening up things for this Hornet offense, that's why you see the grin, because of their performance in the first 3 quarters.
And that's what you've seen all night here from the Hornets on Sportsnet USA. Key to the County, it's the Hornets 39, the Dons 7, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Lindell Thurston back deep for Santa Ana. Faubert, Bigfoot, taken at the 10. Cuts the outside. One person missed. No place to go. Trips over his own laces and goes down right at the 17.
And we've got an injured Hornet on the field. It looks like it's Tedrick Ross. He wasn't hit. He came up on the 15-yard line and went down immediately. So let's hope the young man is okay. And we were doing something else. We were talking earlier that who's listening and watching, there's a Hall of Fame campaign going on right now for Fullerton Hornets. We've already gone to the Fullerton College website and nominated Mr. Mark Pavlovich for the Hall of Fame, myself and Mark, as a 20-year contributor and the voice of Fullerton College athletics, not just football, but athletics, and a proponent of Fullerton College athletics, not just Fullerton, but all of Orange County, and wants to grow the game of community college football. Go ahead and go to the website, fill out the Hall of Fame form. You don't have to do anything. Just put Mark Pavlovich's name there for the next round of Hall of Fame inductees to the Fullerton College Hornet Hall of Fame. 20 years, never missing a game, key contributor. Yeah, I think you should do it.
Also making sure that women's sports have the opportunity to grow and being an advocate for them at all times. There are many times where I've gone out with Mark Pavlovich to do the coaches show, to talk to coaches, to go do games. And too many times, especially in the state of California, you will see people who say, you know what, I'm going to go see a men's basketball game. But you don't see them stay for the women's basketball game. That has changed because of advocates like Mark Pavlovich, because he constantly says, look, there are quality athletics, there's quality fundamentals, there's quality product to go and watch with the women who are giving you this product. Women's basketball, women's soccer, lacrosse, especially at Fullerton College as well. Mark Pavlovich, an advocate for women's sports as well, which is one of the biggest things that I appreciate about him.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's, you know, I'll always say it. It's always been fun because of you two. So it's been fun having Ryan and Corey with me all the way. And that's what makes it special for me being out here, having two friends that I can just call games with. A little flip for the back coming out, just doesn't get completed. So the Santa Ana gets backed up on a penalty. And with 8:40 to go, well, the distance is there. Ayala trying to find a little more spark. The Hornets answered Santa Ana's score. So now they're trying to do something. Arthur Shaw over here on the left side. Once again, Wells with him. Ayala at quarterback. Now Shaw goes in motion from left to right. They throw it to Shaw, looking for a lead block. Cuts in, steps outside, dances to the middle, and gets up to the 15-yard line. Positive game. Corey Neyland, one thing Arthur Shaw doesn't get is any help for a smaller guy running a football.
I think you want him in open space, and the more people out there, the less space you have. So if you put him in open space, he's got more room to roam and more room to move. And it looks like, is that Christian Cross out there? Don't know if it's a cramp or don't know if he slid awkwardly, but it was a nice move by Arthur Shaw to get to the outside to pick up a few more yards.
And, of course, when you see a player go down at Fullerton College, we're very fortunate to say that our athletic trainers are the best. Can I be that braggadocious and say our athletic trainers are the best in California?
I would.
I would. I mean, you look at Lorena
and here's one of the things, Mark, and we're not disrespecting any other training because honestly, everyone that we've been across and met have been extraordinary.
Exactly.
But here at Fullerton is the best.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Juan and Lorena are just special, and the young people that they're in charge of, they are in hands that will take good care of your children playing any athletic endeavor at Fullerton College. Throw up, deep in the corner, back, nice, coming back at Corey. It should have been caught by Hayes.
No,
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say no because Hoya did a nice job of recovering, wrapping his arms around Hayes, stripping the ball from behind, and almost came up with the interception himself.
So that's one on one way, one on the other way. Some of us are paying for your parking. So how you voting?
You know what?
Ryan, I brought my wallet. I got cash.
Sounds like I'm going with Corey.
There you go.
Wait a minute. Who's got my wallet? Probably Corey, right? Okay.
I didn't say I got my wallet, but I do have cash.
You
Could
do
be
have
two
cash.
separate things.
There we go. 4th down for Santa Ana at the 15. Once again, Fullerton in good position. Will Gipson back deep. So we're going to move Santa Ana back for a little delay game.
I dream of Jeannie, yes. What? That was the move. I dream of Jeannie. Back up 5 yards.
So now Santa Ana kicking out. Gipson walks up. Going to stand at the 45-yard line for the Hornets. Gipson gets it at the 45. Cuts one direction, goes back the other direction, spins, stays on his feet, gets across the 40, down to the 37. We get timeout on the field. So no flag. You're going to spot the ball. So with 7:21 in the third quarter, it's the Hornets 39. The Dons 7 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. East LA College. Oh, and we did get a penalty.
And that's the second on Brandon's son tonight.
So did not see that flag, so we're going to march the Hornets back. That's going to stop them right at midfield. Like I was saying, East LA. Little soccer here on SportsNetUSA.net. Make sure you check the homepage at SportsNetUSA.net for the day and time for those games. Community college sports all over Southern California here on SportsNetUSA.net. Hornets come out up by 32. Down the middle, just missed on that one. And once again, first pass by Josh Calvin, Corey, that wasn't close on a play.
Yeah, and he rushed it just a little bit. He had Love out in the open, but Love couldn't break free until that last moment. Good coverage by Elijah Dunbar to hold them up at the line of scrimmage to disrupt that timing.
Ryan Franklin out wide to the right. Koenig in the slot next to him. Love on the far side of the field. Second down and 10 at the 49. Once again, running play, trying to get free. Can't do it there as Malik Winston goes down quickly. Gain of about 4 on the play.
And that's one of those tough decisions by a running back that you got to make. I know I'm quick enough to get to the outside. I could come back inside, but let me try to stretch it outside to get more yardage, to get my speed going. Either way, tough decision. You had both angles. You would have picked up the same amount of yardage.
Jordan Smith back in the game. Outside of Jordan Smith is C.J. Broy. Josh Calvin looks things over. Third down and 7. Calvin pump fakes, tries to run, look for an opening, gets hit while he's on the ground. Ball comes out, but he was down, gain of 1. So now we'll see if the Hornets decide to play it safe and punt the ball away. Corey Neyland says, yeah, this time don't be daring like me. Just punt it away.
Mamana Luke, 6 feet 180, Santa Monica, California, Lighthouse Christian High School. See if he can pin him deep.
Jabaz Gorman goes back, or Jabaz. So Gorman back, counting to make sure he's got enough guys out there. He's going to stand at the 10. We get a whistle on the play. Delay against the Hornets. So we're going to move back 5 yards. So the intensity of the first half, well, guys, is like anything else. Intensity wanes. Seems like it's done that a little here in the second half. Here comes the pressure. Almost gets blocked. Gorman says, get away, and it takes the Hornet bounce as they let it die right at the 10-yard line. 5:25 here in the third quarter. It's the Hornets 39, the Dons 7 here on sportsnetusa.net. Don't forget next week Cerritos College here on sportsnetusa.net. That's right, we're home at Fullerton Union High School District Stadium. If you can't be there, make sure you watch the game here on sportsnetusa.net.
6 p.m. game time?
6 p.m. game time. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn, and myself will all be out there here on sportsnetusa.net. Ayala, 90 yards to get some points on the board. Says, it's a piece of cake. See what we can do. Runs it up the middle. Gain of 2 on the play. What was the running attack for Santa Ana like, Corey? I forgot to ask you. I know what Fullerton did, but.
Non-existent.
Okay.
12 yards on the ground in that first half.
That is non-existent.
Ali Louis Charles on the stop.
Hampton and King to the near side of the field. Ayala at quarterback, looking for something. Goes back, looks for the middle, throws it out in the flat. One-on-one. Slow down the running back, and then the speed. This is the thing. They've got one guy that slows them down, and Corey, it's like mosquitoes that they know you're there. They are just there to suck the blood out of that receiver or the running back.
And what's more impressive, Mark, is not only do they suck that blood, you're not able to go downfield. Usaya Allah look down the field and instantly knows he has nothing going 10 yards down the field, so he has to dump it off to the outlet.
So Ayala looks things over. He's got to open things up. 3rd down and 9. Takes it himself, goes up the middle, stays on his feet, and doesn't make it quite to the 17. It's going to bring up a 4th down. And guys, at this stage of the game, you've got to play the traditional, hey, we're in deep hurt, let's punt the ball away.
Louis Charles and Kennedy both on the stop. They converge. Again, they're quick. Oh, here's your cliche and bad pun. They swarm to the ball like hornets and make the stop on 4th down. Everybody at home, I know I saw the eye roll. I heard the groan. Maybe that was just Ryan.
Yeah, no, I think it was CJ out there waiting for the punt. Said, I got to catch this and take off running. Takes it at the 50. Goes to the inside of the field. Runs out of bounds. I'm going to say about the 42. They're going to mark him out at the 44. Flag on the play. Well, Ryan Osborn, we've got a sound check on that last Corey Neyland. So he's now up 1-0. And like I said earlier, it is what it is with him. We'll just stay there. So they're going to march him back with another penalty. And what was it like with penalties? Because I know they usually are plagued.
Here's the thing. In that first half of play, I'm not even worried about the penalties because it was played so well.
Okay.
Now I'm worried about the penalties because we could have got out of here and, No, but it was pretty well played game. The penalties that you have to worry about is those, like Ryan said, those extracurricular activity penalties. In that first half, and it doesn't seem like it, but 11 penalties for 107 yards.
Brandon Nunez now in at quarterback, goes back, finds the receiver wide open down the far side of the field and steps out of bounds. And that should be Cameron Woods on that side of the field.
You ever get so wide open that you're so wide open that you run out of bounds yourself?
Cameron Woods did.
On that one, you could tell he was so focused on catching the ball, making sure it was in stride, he lost his balance.
Throw it up, turn around, and you got to admit, Michael Love didn't even know the ball was coming, and the ball was there. As Nunez felt the heat, Corey, he threw it to the spot. Michael Love turns around and goes, wait a minute. Was that a gnat? No, it's the football. Incomplete pass.
Because of the coverage was done well. The defensive back was behind the receiver. So Nunez did a nice job of leaving it short, but just on the wrong side.
2nd down and 10 at the 49. Nunez looks to go. A little bump and run on the outside. Run it straight up the middle. And again, ball comes out. They're going to say the running back is down, so that's going to be another gain for Tyrell Green Jr.
18 carries, 88 yards last year. 2 touchdowns. He's approaching that tonight.
So Tyrell Green Jr. is sitting there right on the money here on sports@usa.net. We're going to get illegal procedure against the Hornets. That's going to move it back. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 9 now for the Hornets. Jordan Smith comes on the near side of the field. This is a young man that catches everything that's thrown at him. In the backfield, Tyrell Green Jr. has had a good game. Nunez goes back. Across the middle of the field, couldn't get it, and it should have been Gipson being held on the play, Corey Neyland. I thought he had a little twin on his shoulder like from a horror movie.
You know, I thought Tim Williams, I think he's having a good game, even though the score is 39-7. Tim Williams has played aggressive. He's played well on the outside. This time he gets away with an obvious hold, pass interference. Gipson just walks off the floor. Hey, man, can you help me with this?
Yeah, I was going to say, put my jersey back, will you?
But again, you see some bright spots from Santa Ana. You see where they will be successful this season in the American Metro League. It's going to be a good season for them.
1:51 to go. 39-7 here on sportsnetusa.net. Just get the punt off before the clock goes down. Let the ball hit. It hits behind it. Back flips. A little spin on it. It's going to die at the 24. With 1:40 to go. The Hornets are up by 32. It's the Hornets 39. The Dawn 7 on sportsnetusa.net. Ryan Osborn, Corey Neyland, and the old guy myself. Out here at Eddie West Field, the Santa Ana Bowl, the key to the county on sportsnetusa.net.
We'll tell them after.
What?
So you already went to the scores during halftime. We'll get to the rest of the scores or current scores throughout this rest of the second half.
So we have a new quarterback in the game for Santa Ana.
Looks like Dallin Ingman.
Yep.
Out of Provo, Utah, Timpview High School.
So Ingman in the game now. Henning still in at running back. Shaw out in the slot on the left-hand side. Far side of the field is Joshua Wells. Dallin Ingman puts Shaw in motion. Shaw starts to go, and everybody else says, if he's going, I'm going.
It's never a good thing when your quarterback is leaning forward, your running back is leaning forward, and your center is leaning forward, all at the same time while the man is in motion.
I need to tell these little gnats that are coming in here now that the coaches are to my right. They got food out all over the table.
The ants followed us from Fullerton.
Well, that's no surprise. Throw it over in the flat. Saw there. Missed tackle. Allows the player. Bounces off one. Turns the corner at the 30. Pinball, and then finally gets knocked out at the 35 on what should have been a lost play. And what does Jamel Henning do, Corey Neyland?
He turned Robert De La Torre's fantastic play to blow up the screen into a fantastic play for Henning as he pinballs off of 2 tacklers and picks up a first down after a gain of 17.
And, of course, you look at Dallin Ingman that says, that's because I'm in at quarterback now. We can make these plays. First down and 10 at the 35. Ingman goes back. Doesn't feel any pressure. Dances out to the right. Says, come back and help me. Was getting ready to throw it. Ball comes out, and it's to the Hornets.
Brandon Sun makes up for his 2 personal fouls, causes the fumble. Joshua Little is there, Johnny on the spot, cliche number 13, and picks up that fumble recovery.
And the reason why that happens is Ingman, as he's going out, he's directing traffic with his left hand. The ball is away from his body, so it's not tucked in towards him. His elbow is out, so once he gets hit from behind, it causes the football to come out because he's not expecting that. He's looking downfield to direct traffic, just wasn't ready for the hit.
So the Hornets go back to Josh Calvin, come back in the game. So Calvin back in. In the slot is Stewart. On the outside of him, in the side is Broy. Throw, ball gets tipped up in the air. They're going to call it a fumble.
That is a fumble. Great play by Matt Wan coming from the left side of the field. Or excuse me, not Wan. That is Matty Armstrong out of Redlands, California. Hits the arm before it was going because he had wide open on Malik Wilson on a wheel route. That would have been 6 if it could have been completed.
And that play is going to take us to the end of the third quarter. As we come to the end of the third quarter and head to the fourth quarter, it's the Hornets 39, the Dons 7 on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Do we like the out-of-town scoreboard?
We do.
Okay, 41-7, as you already mentioned. Golden West, the Bell game, they beat Orange Coast. Merced, a final 27-19 from up north. Monterey Peninsula, 43-12 winners over Yuba. San Mateo 45, Sierra 28. San Mateo, they just rolled from up north. Colleges of the Sequoias, Ryan already mentioned the first upset of the season, beating Butte 39-33. Allen Hancock 21-10 over Santa Barbara. One more before the play. San Diego Mesa 42, West LA 20.
Malik Winston in at running back. Josh Calvin goes back, looks over the middle of the field. Fight there. Gipson can't get away. Incomplete pass.
More scores. We had this conversation earlier between these 2 schools. Chabot 41, Sisakias 24.
You know, I once drank a bottle of the first one and then needed to take a little of the second one because I didn't feel well.
So Chabot over Sisakias 41-24.
Malik Winston, the running back. Third down and 17 at the 40. Draw play to Malik. Malik gets held up at the line of scrimmage. Gets maybe a half a yard.
Nathan Logolio out of Mater Dei.
Fourth down at the 38.
Laney beat Modesto 26-25.
So they got the tying touchdown with less than 1:15 to go, and then were able to win in overtime.
The Eagles.
And, of course, San Francisco won naturally. #1 team in California.
They're listed at 2-0, but I thought this was the first weekend of the season for everyone. If they are 2-0, then my apologies.
I thought they played last week.
Did they play last week?
I have no idea.
I'll have to look at that.
I thought somebody played last week.
It could have been their game.
So we're going to move it back with 14:03 to go here in the fourth quarter. 8:21 at night here at Eddie West Stadium. Temperature's not too bad. Players have been having a ball. Great turnout by the fans here. Just an excellent turnout by Santa Ana and the Fullerton fans. Thank you very much. Come watch Community College Sports. I tell you what, they are the best buy in town for any of the sports you love, Community College Sports. High punt. Taken right there and called for a fair catch. They're going to mark it right at the 13. With 13:38 to go, Fullerton 39, Santa Ana 7.
So you're looking at more scores. Diablo Valley 1-0. They beat Fresno 28-21. Start of the fourth quarter, Riverside rolling along 38. Mount San Jacinto 21. Riverside, they're good. Compton and East LA just starting. No score there. Victor Valley and Palomar tied at 17 in the third quarter.
I need to ask you both a question, though. I mean, Riverside is sort of playing the Santa Ana of that area, Mount San Jacinto. They've been good under Casey Mazzota, but they're not a great team under Casey Mazzota.
You know, they're a very good team under Casey Mazzota, Mark. They went to a bowl game last year. They've got athletes. And, again, they should be the number one team in the American Division, Mount San Jacinto. They're not going to be Riverside, just like Santa Ana's not going to be Fullerton. But Mount San Jacinto has got a quality team down there. Ventura, 39-0 over Moore Park. El Camino and Santa Monica have been postponed, so no score there. Mount Sac roll all over LA Valley, 62-7. Long Beach all over LA Southwest in the third quarter, also 51-6. Chaffee beating Citrus 23-14.
I saw that movie.
There you go. The Panthers over the Owls. And Canyons 37-7 over Antelope Valley. One more. Saddleback 27-16 in the fourth quarter just started over Glendale at home.
So Santa Ana comes back out. Dallin Ingman, quarterback. So Ayala finally comes off the field. Corey Neyland, he got 7 points, but he went up against a very stout defense, at least for tonight, from Fullerton College.
Yeah, good win for Fullerton because with 13-19 to play, where they're playing, they're going to move to 1-0 to start the season. Bakersfield in the first half, 42-6 with 2:54 to play over L.A. Pierce.
And Brian Crooks, give Brian a great deal of credit. Brian Crooks is called, and Ryan Osborn is called, excellent defense tonight. He's brought pressure, and the pressure has gotten there. He just hasn't brought pressure just to show it.
And you know what you like, Mark, is that he disguises it well, because Ayala in the first half, you could see him have some indecision.
Allen throws across middle field. Almost interception on a bad pass.
That's Ronald McFoy reading the quarterback's eyes, going with the ball, turned into a receiver himself, but just couldn't hold on to the pass.
And you talk about that indecision earlier from Ayala. What you would see is he would see the lane open, and then as he got set to pass, that defender from Fullerton would peek out, and he wouldn't have that lane open. So he'd have to look for extra options. By the time that he gets to that secondary or third guy, Fullerton's already in the backfield. So that disguising, that masking by Brian Crooks really helped them out tonight.
So it's worked all night, 39-7. Here in the fourth quarter, a lot of the players are coming in. Once again, pressure on the quarterback, almost another one. And Corey, now you're seeing it, not only the pressure from the ones, but you're seeing it from the twos. And there might be some threes out there that Brian Crooks wasn't real sure of. And if Brian's got threes that can play, with Brian Crooks at the helm, this is going to be a very tough football team to beat.
It allows you to be more free, more flexible, more daring, more adventurous as a defensive coach. We're at Cerritos next week, right? Or excuse me,
Cerritos is at us. Yeah, we're at home. Yeah.
Well, they're winning at halftime over Pasadena, 21-14.
That was a game that had to be played later on in the day because of the heat.
They lay out, almost blocked the punt in the end zone. Broy picks it up. CJ looks at everybody, then finally comes down on his head. And once again, over on the sideline, we have people. And it's don't you love a player that sticks his hand out after he jumps on top of somebody? What do you mean? I didn't touch the old lady's purse. How do you have her wallet? He stuck it in there.
Listen, I didn't touch the last donut. Yeah, the sugar on my fingers doesn't mean that I had the last donut.
So another Hornet penalty. Maybe that's the only downside of tonight, the penalty.
Yes, because they're approaching 20.
Okay. So if you can clean up that aspect of it.
You can only get away with 20 turnovers, 20 penalties a game as if you're supremely talented.
Taj Gregory now in the game at quarterback. Out of Coppell, Texas. Hands it straight up the middle. Running backs. Corey Neyland. Kiss him goodbye. Thank you, Tyler Green Jr. Touchdown.
Over 100 yards and the second touchdown scored for Mr. Green Jr. That's not a bad day for
Should
the
be.
sophomore
I'm
from
sorry, I
Baltimore.
said Tyler. It's Tyrell. Tyrell.
That's okay. Kenwood's finest.
Tyrell Green Jr. You said now that puts him over 100 yards for tonight?
Yes, it does.
So when you look at what he's done, you add a little Malik Winston in there. The running core looks good tonight for the Hornets, as the Hornets are now up 45-7.
And that offensive line looks good tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Donnie, I think, is probably, you know those donuts you were talking about, Corey? He's probably got about an extra 26 over there. I know that's about 26 more than he should actually eat. But
You know what? I could go for a donut and a nice, cool drink of water.
I tell you, I'm trying to catch his space in the
Gentlemen, it's too hot for donuts, okay? There's a time for donuts and there's a time for water. It's a time for water and ice, like a Game of Thrones.
Donnie's on his phone,
Water
so
and
he just ordered both. Water, Corey's right. Water and ice. So the offensive line, this is going to be an interesting coach's show. I know you'll go out to football this week. To be able to say, okay, what did you do wrong? Because
Mark,
I can't say.
We've been around.
Well, I know they're going to
There's
tell.
always something wrong, okay? There's always something wrong when you talk to a coach, and that's what it has to be. There is no perfect game, like there is no perfect broadcast. Even if you play perfectly, every coach you've ever talked to will find something wrong.
So there is no joy in Mudville, is what you're telling me.
Show your work, Mark. You don't get an A just because you got the right answer.
Even if you show up 40 minutes late, you can't get an A.
Hey, you got every question right, but you showed up late.
Wow. It is what it is.
Show enough.
It's the consistency of being inconsistent consistently. Jonathan Fulbear coming in to kick off. It's been perfect on all his points after touchdown. Gets leg into it all the way back to the 9. Looks to the middle. Needs to get one person down. Caught from behind. Ball spins out. Hornets pick it up.
And Jordan Little gets chased from behind. He thought he had 6. And he gets chased from behind, and that's been the story tonight, fellas. Good return. Cough up the ball.
What you hear from one of the boxes here is Austin Teams. Why? Because he's also the special teams coordinator. We talked to him about it. He likes to see athletes, guys who are willing to go out there, have physicality on special teams. Oftentimes you'll see coaches at any level take special teams for granted at times. But when it comes to Coach Phil Austin's special teams, he doesn't do that. We talked to him on the Coach's Show this last week. We've talked to him before about special teams, and he says it's one of the most overlooked but important aspects of the game.
Yeah, and there's special teams guy Tedrick Ross, who's made a couple tackles here. He went out earlier in the ball game. Brandon Sun has picked it up as well.
Taj Gregory gets a block from Malik Winston, and he got a beautiful block from Malik to open up the hole so he could take off running.
But Jaden Genova, again, the linebacker coming and reading and scraping, makes a short tackle and brings him down because that would have been 6.
So Gregory's in there, 2nd and goal. Malik Winston, the deep setback. They look over the sideline. Garrett's giving him the signs. Malik starts one way. They're running the option play once again with Taj. Comes down a little short. So Taj Gregory, 6'8", 230 pounds at quarterback.
There was just a hint of miscommunication there, Mark. As Taj takes the snap, he turns to his left, doesn't find the running back, turns to his right, and then sees that he has that pitch play opportunity. He made the best out of it, but the miscommunication, it's kind of a broken play.
Jumbo package comes in for the Hornets. Deep setback. Malik Winston. Somebody else comes into the game at the last second. Surprised the Hornets did not call timeout. And we get illegal procedure. Boy, that did look like a bunch of clowns in little small cars trying to all get set for the finale of the circus.
That's going to be a false start on every other player who was at the line.
I think you call it on everybody with an odd number. So, once again, Taj Gregory comes up. Malik Winston, the running back, goes off the right, ducks underneath one tackle, refuses to go down, gets taken down by 7 Dons. I like the way Malik Winston runs. I really do like the way he runs. And Corey, Tyrell Green Jr. has got some speed. I mean, I think he's faster than he looks.
I think they have 3 quality backs. I think they have backs who can pretty much do everything you need. Green Jr. can run in between the holes and off tackle. He showed he has speed. Winston can get on the outside, but again, he has the shiftiness. And Garnett Davis, he needs to get the room, and he'll be all right, all right also.
Bobera comes in, kick is up, and kick is good. He's been perfect tonight for the Hornets here on SportsNetUSA.net. 49-7 with 9:50 to go. And that's Garnett Davis the third here on SportsNetUSA.net. Juniors and thirds, and we like to acknowledge the fact that they come from a family that's proud of their young men who have inherited or been given the name of somebody in front of them that they worship or cherish.
And that we can mess up every Saturday evening.
You got it. Some of these families have been trying to figure out, are they talking about my cousin? My third sister? We'll just have to send Ryan, Ryan, you're going to need to go calm people down here in a second.
So Fullerton is going to take the 99th key to the county game. And again, this is going to be the 52nd win in the series next year. Next year, it's at Fullerton College.
For number 100.
For number 100. In a supposedly new stadium.
The mystical
Al
Scherbeck?
I will believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I'm actually announcing the game from there.
Do you know what's funny? Is when I got interviewed earlier about the stadium. Well, I said, no. I'll believe it when I walk in and see it. Sorry.
No. When we're actually broadcasting, we can see it.
At halftime of the first game.
Thank you.
That's when it'll actually settle in. When I sit down to do the halftime scores from out of town, then I'll believe it.
Bobert, little pooch kick for the sidelines. Hornets coming after it. Grabbed there, knocked out of bounds. No, as they missed the knockout. And I thought, boy, watch them take off and go 100 yards. Yeah, just don't get any splinters, though, when that bench is not brand new, when you sit down and read the scores from out of town. Let us hope that it's going to be a more magnificent stadium than a lot of people may think it will be. Let's hope that the name that goes on it, Hal Scherbeck, is honored. And, guys, I brought it up in my interview. Love Hal Scherbeck. Used to get in trouble for talking about him all the time. But let us not forget Tim Burns, 2 national championships, bringing the program back when he did an outstanding job when he was here at Fullerton College as the head coach. And Tim, if you're around, hey, come to a game, come on up in the booth. We'll put a headset on you. We'll talk football all night long. So a nice little pitch and catch thrown out to King. King gets immediately tackled when he catches it.
McFoy, again, making plays. earlier, almost had a near interception in the here in the, actually that was a third quarter, almost that near interception.
So Cossack, Wells, King to this side of the field. Dolan Ingman at quarterback. Runs an option. Throws it out here in the flat after he gets pressured. Joshua Wells had no place to go. 3rd down and 6 from the 35. Beck Moss now in at quarterback for Santa Ana.
A 6'4" freshman out of Irvine.
Good eyes of Ryan Osborn. Moss goes back, feels the pressure, throws it over. It's going to be a completion for a 1st down. So Moss gets his first completion of the night. They move it on.
And his receiver does a nice job of sitting down on the route, making himself a big target as Brandon Tyler out of Simeon High School in Chicago, Illinois.
William Sullivan Jr. now in at running back for Santa Ana. So Moss and Sullivan in the backfield. 1st down and 10 at the 42. And Moss coming out of the backfield does not turn. And so it's almost another pick going the other direction.
A better throw, that would have been the 2nd pick 6 for the defense. And that's McFoy again. It's been all around the field in this 4th quarter and late in the 3rd.
8:34 to go. Here at Eddie West Field, it's the Hornets 49, Santa Ana 7 on SportsNetUSA.net. Beck goes back, throws it, taken out of the ground. No place really to go on that. One of the few catches that Wells has had tonight for the Dons. So Joshua Wells goes into the book. William Sullivan Jr. stays in at running back. Cossack goes to the far side of the field. Cannon King goes with him. Joshua Wells toward the near side of the field. Here come the Hornets. Pressure up the middle. Thrown right there. Taken out of the air by King. Nice little catch by Cannon King, who just stops. They're going to move the chain. 1st down with 8 minutes to go. Santa Ana's on the move.
Good
Here in
job
the 4th quarter.
by Moss to read the blitz coming on the outside. He goes to where that linebacker vacated his presence, and a 1st down pass to King.
Beck Moss out of Irvine, 6'4", 205 at quarterback. Little screen pass thrown there, and that screen pass had no chance at all.
Tyler Carter, River Rouge High School for Fullerton, and they've done a nice job of keeping things in front of them.
Wells goes to the far side of the field.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
Beck Moss looks things over. Stands there, finds the middle of the field open. Caught, bobbled, no tackle made. Block on the outside. And now a couple missed tackled by the Hornets are letting Santa Ana have a little breathing room with 6:50 to go here in the 4th quarter, trailing by 42.
And that bobble and catch and run made by Tyler Hampton. Nice job by Hampton. That's his 3rd catch in this ball game.
Player is down across the field. So we're going to have timeout on the field with 6:50 to go here in the 4th quarter. It's the Hornets 49, the Dons 7 on SportsNetUSA.net. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn, the old guy, tagging up from behind here on SportsNetUSA.net. Corey's taking a stroll, trying to go out the door already. So, guys, they get through this one. It's going to be a better game than they thought, Ryan Osborn. They really thought, we don't know. Now they know. So has the bar been set for this Hornet team coming into next week?
Yeah, I think that when you take a look at their performance in this one, it's something that they have to go, okay, realize who you played and realize who your competition is next week. Now, Santa Ana did have a great season last year, especially in recent memory for them, but also realize that next week you're going to be playing competition that has really troubled you in the last 5 years. So know that, yes, you had your success.
And a team that beat you last year.
And you add to that. Know that you had your successes this year, or excuse me, in this game, but know that it's not going to be as, we don't want to say easy because Santa Ana put up a good fight, but it's not going to have the same characteristics.
So we'll see what happens next week. Remember, that game's at Fullerton Union High School District Stadium and on SportsNetUSA.net. Mr. Neyland, Mr. Osborn, and myself will be there. So if you can't make it, make sure you watch it here on SportsNetUSA.net. And if you do make it, hey, stop on by the booth and say, hey, guys, you know, we're out here to watch the game. Let's see how many people we can get at Fullerton. Great turnout tonight by the Santa Ana fans. Thank you, Fullerton fans across the way, for making this game an exciting game. It always makes it better, Corey Neyland, when there's people in the stands that enjoys exciting community college sports on all levels. If you've got time, go out and watch that soccer game, water polo match, football games, softball, basketball games, tennis, even golf. If you get an opportunity, great athletes, great student athletes, all on the community college level. That's why we're out here every week on SportsNetUSA.net. Santa Ana knocking at the door with 5 minutes to go. Quick pass over, incomplete. Flag comes out, pass interference. You say yes? I just heard a big wow from down the hallway.
I say 5 minutes left in the game. Keep the hanky in your pants and let them play.
First and goal for Santa Ana. Go back, throw it out in the flat. Picked in the end zone. Staying at his feet at the 20, at the 30. This will be a 100-yard return. If nobody can catch him, Corey Neyland, 100 yards for Ronald McFoy.
5 plays in a quarter and a half. He finally gets his pick. It's a 100-yard, as you said, interception return for a touchdown. Since they're not counting anymore, that's got to tie one of the records for longest interception return in Fullerton College Hornet history.
Just amazing. I mean, when he caught it and he stumbled coming out of the end zone, I thought he was
he grabbed his feet and he was like, oh no.
I thought he was going to go down, you know. And he makes it for a 100-yard touchdown return here on Sportsnet. Well, when you think the magic is gone, something just jumps up and you say, hey, you know what? There's nothing else to talk about. There it is, as the Hornets now get their 56th point on the board. They have done it, Mr. Osborne. Offense, defense, special teams, big plays, small plays, running plays, passing plays. What else could this team offer you tonight that you haven't seen?
You know what they can do? They can hop on the Coaches Show, because the 2 people that we talk to on the Coaches Show, all 3 of the positions that they are in charge of, special teams, defensive backs, and offensive line, have had a fantastic game. Coach Donnie Lobendon joining us on the Coaches Show this week. His offensive line has been really good tonight. Defensive backs, 2 pick sixes, 1 for over 100 yards, and the special teams as well showing up here tonight.
And who's that guy you talk to that takes care of those groups?
That would be Mr. Phil Austin.
And, of course, you have Garrett Campbell always on the show, and I guess when you get a chance to talk to him, you're going to say, and he's going to say, well, I told you. So we'll see what happens. Make sure you watch the Coaches Show on 90.1 KBPK every week with Ryan Osborn, and a plethora of new voices and faces on 90.1 KBPK. Well, guys, we've seen it all tonight. You know, I sort of wondered what we were going to see tonight. and was hoping we would see a good game. It's been a runaway, but Corey, if you're a Hornet fan, it's been that sort of exciting runaway where now the standard has been set, and everybody's going to wonder why you can't do what you did the week before. You set the bar high, you've got to cover that bet you're making. We'll see if the Hornets can do it against Cerritos here on SportsNetUSA.net. 4:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. Well, the coaches to the right of us, they've packed their bags and gone. The people to the left of us, they're still here. I thought maybe we had to close up the building and clean the rooms. I was a little concerned. Because, I'm old. I got a bad back. I'd have to watch you and Corey do it.
I'm carrying stuff, so
I
know my role.
I'd have to watch Corey do it. First down and 10 for the Dons. Looking for something. Thrown out in the flat. Nice little catch taken there by Cossack. Kobe takes it, gets it down across the 40 to 45, refusing to give up. So you've got to like Santa Ana on what they've shown you tonight. They've got a great deal of gumption. They've gone deep, which I'm not sure that was their plan to go this deep. But now a lot of people are getting to play, and you're seeing a lot of players that are laying it out on the line for the Santa Ana team, showing you that when they get ready for conference play, they're going to be a team that you're going to have to deal with one more time this year. We'll get a flag on the play. We'll see that. It should be offsides against the Hornets.
Lining up in the neutral zone. And take your pick. It's the left side of the defensive line.
So it's going to stop the clock with 4 minutes to go. Make sure you check that homepage of SportsNetUSA.net. See what games are coming up. Take a little time out to watch some of the other sports at other community colleges around the area that SportsNetUSA.net covers. Santa Ana comes to the line of scrimmage at midfield. Looking for something. Trying to get an answer. Up the middle, dropped in and out of the hands. Like a Haran Hayes, who should have had that one easily caught. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 5. For Santa Ana. Santa Ana would like to get one more on the board before this clock runs out in this fourth quarter. Run the option play. Wanted to give a shovel pass. Ball comes out. That's a fumble. No, they're going to call it an incomplete pass.
They're going to call it an incomplete pass, Mark, but that was
backwards.
Yes.
Should have been a fumble on that one. What they were trying to do was run the underneath to Kobe Cossack. Cossack was covered on the play, and the quarterback flipped it out there anyway. They called it incomplete, but if you're up here in the booth, you can see that it went backwards. Therefore, it was a backwards lateral, not a forward pass, and it should have been a fumble on the play. 3rd down and 5 at the 50-yard line for Santa Ana. 3:34 to go. Pressure up the middle. Quarterback tries to get away. Throws it over the outstretched hands. You come out of the backfield. Nobody's on you. Cesar Vasquez says, I'm open. Get me the football. And it's just thrown a little too high.
Beck Moss had him open, the corner on that near side. Jamari Griffin came up in pursuit of the quarterback. Vasquez keeps strolling out wide open again. You miss it by inches, and that's been the story here for Santa Ana on offense.
Beck Moss is probably going to have to say to Vasquez, I own you lunch. I really do. Vasquez stays in the backfield. Moss at quarterback. 4th down at 5. Here come the Hornets. The pressure. Moss is trying to run. Throws it out. Gets it across the original line of scrimmage. Thank you, referee.
But that's okay. Pressure applied by Tyler Carter. 4th down is at the turnover on downs. So with 3:58 here, let's see if Fullerton can run out the clock. 1 first down, game is over.
So 3:18 to go. The Hornets up by 49. Fullerton 56. Santa Ana 7 here on SportsNetUSA.net. Want to thank Ed Ford once again for making these games possible. Ryan Osborn on the air and the technician for this game. Thank you. My partner Corey Neyland for umpteen years. It's always fun doing games with him. And we wouldn't be out here if it wasn't for those at home that watch our games here on SportsNetUSA.net. So thank you for making all these games possible on SportsNetUSA.net.
Edwin Udengwu. It's the carry. Played some offense and defense last year for the Hornets.
So Taj Gregory in at quarterback. 2nd down and 5. Just going to hand it off, and Udengwu goes back up the middle again. Stumbles across the 40. That should make it a first down. Keep the clock running with 2:35 to go. Remember, if you're coming out to the game this next weekend, it is at Fullerton Union High School District Stadium. It is not where we have played the last few years. We're back home, I guess you'd say. Gene Murphy days over there. The old Gene Murphy days. Tosh takes it himself, turns the corner, steps out of bounds at 35. We're at the 2-minute mark here on SportsNetUSA.net. Crowd is still here from Santa Ana, so from Fullerton. If you're a Fullerton fan, I understand why. You don't know what may happen.
And Mark, this has been a picturesque type of game for football here too at Eddie Westfield. You look at the last 3 season openers that you and I have had. One was in 108-degree weather. The other was in 101. And then the one out before that, it rained. So when you take a look at openers, sure it was a little hot, but the weather was nice. There was a nice view from where we sit or stand in the press box.
Marcus Taylor II now is in at running back. He's the deep back. The up back for the Hornets is Cablin Shelvin. So a variety of running backs. Corey Neyland's impressed with the running backs. You're impressed with the defense. The receivers tonight have just amazed me. Anything thrown within reach, they've been able to grab. All the quarterbacks have been outstanding. And the special teams, the defense, well, you don't expect anything less from the defensive backs or Brian Crooks or Phil Austin in special teams. Well, they were special tonight. That's going to bring us to the end of this game. The Hornets are going to come away with a victory. 56-7 over Santa Ana College. You've been watching Hornet football on SportsNetUSA.net.